And good evening, everyone. I'm Blaine Singletary, and this is Wednesday night in the ARML. I'm here for the first time in quite a while, joined by a much more regular presence on this channel, Nathaniel. How's it going?
Doing quite well, Blaine. Looking forward to doing some commentary with you this evening. Got an exciting matchup for us tonight.
Yes, quite a few from all across the various divisions in the ARML. We're starting off with Division A2 tonight, Table 3, in this Session 5 matchup, which features Juchan, Hanemandre, TWMN 0610, and RZ Bick. And respectively, that's Julian, Andre C., Leon P., and Riley B. Riley,
I,
of course, from where I hail from, Oklahoma Mahjong. So good to see a little bit of home team representation here. But definitely a lot of great players in this matchup tonight. We see two of them pretty well in the promotion range right now, Andre and Julian. And Leon not too far behind Riley. And thing is, we could see these positions really shake up because there's all pretty well close to each other on this leaderboard right now.
yeah, this is a really good opportunity for both Riley and Leon to jump up in the standings. This is only session 5. There's one more set of 4 Hanchan after these 4 are completed. And if Riley and Leon want to put themselves in a position to take a promotion slot, they will need to perform well in the series. And maybe a bigger concern is that if things go poorly, they could end up dropping towards that demotion zone. Currently, the mark is
Mm.
negative 82.3 for that, but I'm optimistic. I've seen Riley and Leon play throughout the season. I am optimistic at their chances of having a good showing in the series.
And there's the gong. Our match is underway. East 1 and the Dora is 5 so. Looks like our first dealer this time is Leon, and not a bad hand here at all. Good sequences, good shapes forming up. You got some souths there, and dropping the east immediately. That's going to get picked up by Hanemandre, of course. That's Andre C. And looks like he can build something good with that east. Maybe not something with a lot of points, but definitely get a good opening shot in there. Got a Dora as well. But we've got a Ricci from across the table already from Julian with a three-sided weight there. 2, 5, and 8 will win this hand.
The value Ricci Dora is 2,600 minimum, but Julian can win on another Dora 5, so would increase the value up to 5,200. If it's a Sumo, it's even a manga on 8,000 points. So definitely good
Wow.
opportunity here for Julian.
And take a look at Riley's hand. Oh, well, it looked pretty good, but sadly not going to get the job done because this hand is over. Juchan picking up a 3-Han sumo there, getting him to 34,000 points. Pretty good starting lead.
Yeah, perfect start for Julian in this hand. And Julian at plus 87.3 in these standings in the promotion zone, but just barely. Really wants to
Hmm.
increase that buffer on Kevin and Alex in 5th and 6th place.
Yeah, just keep your, really cement your position there. Already in this hand, the dealer here. Pretty nice starting hand. We have Adora already in this with some great shapes working together right now. But we did see Leon call the Norths immediately. That's his new seat. And good sequences so far in that hand, if we take a look at that.
Yeah, two Dora as well.
Yeah, definitely make some good use of that. Only real question mark is the couple of Manzu sitting over on the side, but we'll see what he does with that. A lot of Sozu. Taking a look on the right with Juchan there, Julian. Uh, that could turn into something pretty big. That's an easy flush, a half flush at the very least. That could go all the way to full though, just as easily. Possibly even, well, I was going to say throwing in a Peiko, but that hand is open now, so that no longer would apply.
Yeah, this is interesting. Our dealer was thinking about building a 7 pairs hand, had lots of them, discarded the 5 so that got called by Julian, and now just continues to draw the pairs. Maybe feeling a little bit of regret, but still is 2 away from Tempai. You just have to be careful about dropping Sotaus at this point, and we'll see how Andre dances around this.
Mm-hmm. You already see that row with no Sozu in it and one called set, so that's got to make you start to think about that. Meanwhile, Riley across the table has some good shapes there. This could come into something soon, but it looks like the other hands are maybe a step or two ahead right now.
Yeah, on the left, Leon, with those two Dora, just looking to complete one of these shapes, either the 6-7 pin shape with a 5 or an 8, or even, I'm sure Leon's willing to call the 9 pin, or of course the Dora 8, so if it were to ever leave anyone's hand, but 9 pin, the most likely tile to be dropped, has yet to be seen. They're both in the wall.
Yes. Now our dealer, keeping the hand closed here, has an Anko of 4 Mon already. And looking for one more piece to bring this Tenpai as well, but we do have Tenpai, looks like in Leon's hand now, waiting on the 5-pin, 8-pin.
There it is.
When the 5-pin gets picked up by Julian, he's going to hang on to it.
What a lovely
Good
dodge.
read there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Leon did manage to find the 9 pin, just drew it himself.
Mm-hmm. That is the last tile, winning tile for Julian from the wall. Sorry, not Julian, for Leon.
You're right.
So if that comes out, well, if that doesn't come out, then that's it. But the rest of these look pretty well locked in. Oh, he's still going for the Sozus, though.
Yeah, but not.
He's going to have to.
Not with maximum efficiency. Could have discarded the 5 pin there and opened up a couple more calls, but really scared of this 5 pin. And I don't know what read Julian has, but it's the correct one.
Mm-hmm. But if he's taking that call towards it, he might be thinking, maybe I give this a try. You do see the 2 pins discarded over on Leon's end, but not Suji, because you still got the 8-pin out there, and that's, of course, the other half of this weight.
Tenpai for
yes,
Andre
Tenpai
on
for
the 7
dealer
so.
now.
Of course, that's a dead weight. 7 so. The last one is the Dora indicator, so Andre knows it's just hoping to maintain the Tenpai towards the end, and we'll get there.
Yep. There we go. After this, well, one more draw from Riley. That'll be all she wrote. And there it is.
Well dodged.
Leon and Andre. Yeah, great dodge, of course. And you get some points for your trouble, too.
It should be noted that if Julian had kept the 4-so in hand, the 2-so call would have been Tenpai. But that would have required dropping the 5-pin if you wanted to have the Chinitsu Tenpai, so.
Well, you win some, you lose some, but this game's moving on. East 2 repeats here. Our dealer with 2 Dora once again. This time it's 8 Mon. And good pairs again. We might see another attempt at Chitoi, but you could also do without it and still go home with plenty of points here. And Riley going a quick call of the Hatsu here. Might want to pick up the Haku as well if that comes out from Julian's hand. Otherwise, good shapes to accompany them. Let's see, speaking of Julian's hand, of course there goes the Haku. We see some good shapes here. They look a little bit disconnected, so that's going to be hopefully drawing the ones that fill in the gaps there. We're seeing a lot of closed weights at the moment. We'll see how that shakes out. And Leon, already some completed sequences, or rather just one. And kind of has the same problem as Julian right now, just trying to fill in that one piece needed to turn a lot of these into ready shapes. But we have Tenpai for...
That's Riley across the way.
For Riley, yes, okay.
2-5 Mon.
Alright, I got a cat on me right now. You know how it is.
And so there it is.
There it is, yeah, picking up the 2 Mon for Haku Hatsu, an easy 2 Han, and a good way to move this
into East 3, still keeping things really close here.
Good shapes for our dealer here. Looking to pull ahead a little bit more. You have 2 sequences already set up and a pair, so that's not too far away from Tenpai. Picking up a Dora as well. It's once again the 8 Mon, so that's going to be hopefully another good shape for Riley, meanwhile, has some good shapes going on in his hand, but then you see the other side, and it looks a little bit more, maybe you embrace the Manzu here, but we already have 10 pi for dealer waiting on the 7 mon. Here's the Dora indicator, and we see one distributed in each person's hand. It's looking pretty loose in Leon's hand right now. See that come out just for how early in the hand this is.
Yeah, of course, Leon has all the incentive in the world to try to draw around that Dora. As the hand progresses, such as with a 6-pin draw, it gets closer and closer to coming out, especially if Leon manages to draw into an Ipeco shape in the lower Manzu. But for now, we'll hold on to it and hope to draw 6 or 8 Mon. Of course, for Julian, the value of this hand is the tune plus 1 Dora, 2,900.
Each.
And really just keeping that dealer and hope for a better hand next round, so long as you keep that dealership. But we have 10 pi, and Ricci called for Andre. And he's just going to be waiting on the 3-pin.
A Ricci Dora 1 on a Roan without any Ura would be 2,600. 3-pin has 2 left in the wall. There's 1 floating around in Leon's hand, but now Leon has drawn a connector to it.
Yes. But he's putting the connector back, so he might be not ready to commit to that. But now we see it drawn from Julian, and he's going to put it in, and that's Roan.
Yeah, Julian's been pushing this hand, and it is just the 2,600 points, not the biggest hit. Still keeping things very close. Now, Andre, the only player over 3,000. That is a very interesting hand for Andre. We'll switch perspective and go back to that one.
For Andre, yeah, look at that. You have, well, just a lot of honors, but there's only 2 of them are pairs. So that makes it a little bit awkward, though it's pretty easy to pivot this into a half flush, and still had plenty of Yakuhai to go around. He's already calling the tune, so good work there.
Yeah, it's unclear to Andre which suit is going to be the suit for the half flush. Is it the Manzu that has the Dora, or is it the Pinzu that has this good 7-8 diamond shape? And it looks like Andre might not even be committing to half flush even with these shapes. He wants it to be Manzu, ideally, but just going to hold all the good floaters and see what comes.
Might like to pick up some dragons if that comes to pass, though we do see a pair of the green dragons in Julian's hand right now, so he'd have to grab one of them from the wall to even have a shot at that. Let's look at Julian's hand. Good sequences so far. You already got 1, 2 in, and 2 more just almost about to come together there. So that hand is very close to coming together. Especially if that Hatsu comes out, then that's 10 pi.
Yes.
If it's called. Meanwhile, our dealer, haven't looked at that hand too much yet. Good sequence so far in 1, 2, 3 in the Manzu. Couple of pairs to go along with it. It's good progress, but you'd kind of want to see this be a little bit further along as we head into the second row here.
Yeah, that's a good pickup, though, for Riley.
Yes, very
puts some
nice.
Ishanten. And interestingly, Andre across the way has managed to turn this into Honitsu. Is holding on to the 4th tune, holding on to that con, not willing to declare it just yet, but I imagine if Tenpai is drawn, it will be conned. And wow, not even waiting for Tenpai, just calling immediately. And that reveals the 6-mod to be Dora, so 1 more value in Andre's hand. This is definitely a Mangan. Should it be completed.
Yeah, but the other hands are closed. So if they call Ricci, that can essentially give them quite a boost if the Uras work in their favor. Let's see, that 6-mon also... Oh, not quite. It looked like it did something with Leon's hand, but not exactly. It could, though.
Yeah, if Leon can find one, certainly would welcome it.
Absolutely.
And again, 2 away from Tenpai here. But the shapes are really awkward for Leon. Riley keeps picking up pairs and throwing them back.
Look, and same for Julian there. Look at that so far. Last 6 draws just immediately sumo-giried.
Yeah, Julian
hand has not made any progress.
Desperate for either the green dragon or really any 2-5-8 so would work as well.
Yeah.
And you'd think
you had a
Yeah, you'd think with Andre going for half flush and Mansu, he'd eventually drop a helpful so tile, but that's just it hasn't been coming out.
Mm,
Oh no! And
I keeps holding up.
Hatsu
Oh,
paired.
there we go. There goes the East. And so now we're
Each.
waiting on, looks like 7. Yeah, just the 7 Mon. But we have Ricci called from Julian as he finally picks up what he needs there. And he's going to be waiting on the 2 and the 5 so.
For the
As we can
7,
see.
there's 2 7-mon left in the
Each.
wall, and chase from Leon. Wow, that's a
Sumo.
Oh, but picks up the sumo for, yeah, Andre picking up the sumo for Mongon there. Or was that a Hanemon?
it got to
I-
5 Han Mongon. And the 2 Ricci sticks, just that the other 2 players had
Oh.
just found Tempai and donated those right into Andre's hand. So no surprise to see the leader of A2 right now having a really awesome start to this game.
Hanemandre not quite living up to the name, but that'll do just fine for him with a nice 420. Moving on to South 1 now. We're already at the hat. Dora is 6-0 and good shape in the dealer's hand right now. That'll make nice use of that, along with some other completed sequences ready to go. Speaking of completed sequences, there goes another one. This is Ishan 10 already with just 4 drops in.
Yeah, this is such a great high pie. As dealer, you've got a Dora as well. You'd love to pair that up, get Ricci Pinfu Dora too.
Mm-hmm.
Could even consider cutting your you have in 6-7 here and just locking the 1 pin as the pair, but I had the choice earlier as well. Once with the 2 pin cut, could have just discarded 1 pin and 3 pin and left everything the same. Kind of interesting that you'd make that switch here.
Yeah. Oh, and now it's punishing him for maybe not thinking. Looks like he's considering it.
I mean, could redraw
even though he
back
already
into
dropped
it.
the 2. Yeah.
I think it's just likely that Leon will end up waiting on 1-4 pin or draw the 1-4 pin from
Right.
Tempai.
Yeah, just toss the 3 back, wait on the 1 and the 4. Because as we can see, there are no 2 pin left in the wall. Those are all sitting nicely in the hands on the left and right, which do look pretty nice, if I do say so myself. These are coming together very nicely as well. I believe Riley is a Shanten there with, yes, 2 sequences locked in with a pair. Some shapes just looking for that one special piece to come together.
Yeah,
Similar story for Andre.
Yeah, just a tune call away from being Tempai for that hand as well. So you're right, both hands, Ishoten.
Mm-hmm. Andre would like to pick up the 1 so and maybe upgrade that to Chanta, but that may not happen here. Ooh, but here's
you don't have to
the tune.
Call the tune if you just draw it yourself.
Yeah.
No Ricci though.
That's right. We are in Tenpai now. He's waiting on the in,
Don't.
but that's immediately going to get dropped by in for just 1,300 points, but it's a little bit extra on top of that lead that Andre's right now.
Yeah, and I think Andre was playing with some concern that the Dora 6-0 is so easy to use from these other players. Andre definitely with a bad weight, only the 3 pin, was prepared to probably bow out if dealer declared Ricci. But fortunately, the dealer did declare Ricci with the winning tile, and so was able to end the dealership and move things forward.
Absolutely. Well, this moves us to South 2. The Dora is 3 Mon. And we see a hand for our dealer that could make use of it, perhaps. Otherwise, good shapes are happening elsewhere, though. Coming together quite nicely. For Julian, oh, this hand's going to need a little bit of work here. Might be leaning towards Chanta here. It could happen, but it's going to need some work no matter which way. Riley across the way, we see a pair of the Easts, some other good shapes forming up. Nothing really solidified just yet, though. And on the left for Leon, good shapes here so far.
Yeah, I do quite like Leon's hand on the left. Ishan 10 for Ricci Pinfu Dora. And even with this 3-pin draw, you can drop the 3-so and take a Peiko chance, or you could just hold the 3-so and hope to draw around that for 2-3-4 Sanchoku, dropping away from one of your Ryanman shapes. Of course, we saw the call from Julian aiming for the 1-2-3 Sanchoku as well as Chanta and Dora acceptance as well.
That's right. Now Andre making some serious progress. Let's see, Shanten now picking up that 4-pin. And now he's kind of sitting, waiting on which way to go for that last shape.
Right now, Tempai for the Forso, but not willing to take the Ricci. We saw this in the last hand as well. Oh, but
Sumo.
there's the Tsumo. I guess you should just take the Ricci if you know you're going to Ippat Tsumo.
Yeah, but still, that's still a lot of points to add to the total.
Yeah, it's not 12,000 points that you would have earned with the Ricci, but it is still a little bit extra buffer. Everyone's still below 30,000 except for yourself if you're sitting in Andre's seat, and a dealer repeat.
Absolutely. South 2 continues. The door is 2-pin. And right now, for our leader, Andre, still dealer, has a good shape of the Sozu right now. 6, 7, 8. That's really about it, though. The rest of this hand is going to need some construction to come together better. Julian, on the other hand, has, some more put together shapes here. We have one sequence set and some shapes waiting to work themselves out. Riley across the way, picking up some progress there with the 7 so, and decent shapes there. And Leon, well, he had 2 Chun, that became 3 just now. Decent shapes to go along with it. Looks like all these hands are going to need a little extra work to really have a chance of converting, though.
Yeah, these hands a little bit slow. Julian with Pingfu chance, maybe even Ipeko in the lower Pinzu. And the 6 mod is a good draw. Actually, Julian really hedging here the Itsu and the Manzu, the straight 1 through 9.
Yes. Yeah, just needs the 4 and the 9, and that's all ready to go.
I think it's typical to actually drop the 7-pin instead of the 4-pin there, because if you keep the 4-pin, you can take your Ipeko chance and even accept a door with a Diamond shape. Ended up getting rid of the 7-pin and now punished for all of these decisions. Could be Tempai here with 3-sided weight or with Diamond weight, but instead just holding these 2 Nobiton shapes, which is very efficient. You just have some Huriten worries in the Pinzu side. No fear though. Just draw the 9 mon. Now you have your Itsu chance.
Waiting on the 4 mon to complete that Itsu, but 7 mon will work as well to finish this hand.
Leon might be in some trouble here. If the 7 mon is drawn to hand, the 4 mon might just flow out. However, the Manzu in general do look pretty suspicious against the Ricci from Julian, so we might just see Leon play defense.
It's the only suit we don't see on the board, on his part of it anyway. 4 are pretty well locked up in Andre's hand, and we got a pair in Riley's right now. 2 of the 4s left in the wall, though, and 1 7. Still have 25 tiles of this wall to get through, so we'll see what happens. Oh, that 5 is going to secure the 4 in Leon. That's Leon's hand.
I think Leon might be regretting not pushing just a tad bit. You didn't expect your hand to come together this well, but 2 5-pin, definitely a bad Suji to push. That's Dora and Dora Suji. So you don't really want to fight with that against dealer, and that certainly justifies the path that Leon has chosen to take here. I'm really curious about Andre. Yeah, I typically think of Andre as a very aggressive player, especially as dealer. But it seems, with a couple of Dama Tempais that Andre has taken, that he might be playing a little bit more passively, especially with his big lead in A2 right now. So I'm curious how much he wants to fight this. For example, he could even call this into Tempai, but doesn't. And prevents Julian from getting the Tsumo, though, as a result. And just now takes the Tempai. So
there we go.
Dances around.
This is that's going to be
3-sided. 3-6-9.
Yeah. 3-6-9. Looking fine. 9 tiles to go and a good chance of picking it up right there.
Ippat Tsumo. Reach Ippat Tsumo Pingfu. And Tanya as well. Got the expensive side. The Uno as well. There it is.
There's the Hanemandre right there. Bringing him to 65,600 and the rest of the table just figuring out how to stop this dominant force we're seeing tonight.
And even catching a break, Hanemandre then discards the Dora West as the first cut, maybe having some mercy on the table.
Well, I mean, you look at this hand, and he's probably think, well, I'm never going to need this probably. I mean, look at it. It's pretty well put together as is. No real. Oh, there is one completed sequence right now, but the rest of the tiles are just already buddied up and ready to go. So might as well drop those honors before they become dangerous and an advantage for somebody else. Meanwhile, Julian, pretty good hand of his own there. Got an Akko of the 8s. Gotten the 2 to polish that one up real nice. Had a sequence in the Pinzu and Sozu as well. That one's coming together very nicely. Riley with some good sequences of his own. Or rather, just one right now. But that 8 is good progress, that 8-so. Meanwhile, I'm seeing a bit of an Ipeco shape over on Leon's side with that 4, 5, 5, 6, 7, 7. So, or rather, Mon. But that can go many different ways to hit a little bit of extra pay dirt, which all of these players who are not Andre need right now.
Right. And that is Ishan's head for Leon. We will see the pawn from Andre. Looking for a Tanyao here.
Ooh, yeah. Tanyao, that... Well, just Tanyao, but that's really all you need right now.
And
When you're in
importantly,
this position.
the rest of the table understands that this is probably just Tanyao. It could be, Tanyao Santraku if you get the perfect tiles, or something to increase the value by maybe 1 Han. But with the door being the west and this being Akanashi rule set, no red 5s, the hand is not going to be very expensive. So that might encourage the other players to fight this a little bit more.
We're going to see a call of Chi here to get the Tenpai? Yes, we do. It's a Tanki wait on the 3 Mon.
Each.
But that's going to lead to a Ricci from Julian now, whose hand has come together very nicely. This hand is waiting on the 3 and the 6-so.
Yeah, it is just Ricci Nomi, but with these score lines, everyone below 30,000 is really close. Any win is going to be important here. And if you can flip some Uda, that's even better.
Andre playing switcheroo Tanki there. Always a fun game to play. We just want to mess with people.
Yeah, the one benefit about having the Tanki weight, it's not usually a very strong weight, but you can swap it around and find something sneaky. At this point, I think Andre's pretty content to just fold this hand away.
But Leon is not. There he goes. This hand is Tenpai now. We're waiting on the 4 or the 7 Mon. So, yes, same weights as... No, not quite the same weights as
4-7
Julian.
versus 3-6. So same suit right next to each other.
And Andre folds. Getting out of Tenpai. Well, yeah, getting out of Tenpai here. You got your lead. You don't want to possibly risk dropping a good quarter of it on somebody else.
Sumo.
Big sumo.
And that'll be how it goes. Big sumo for Leon here. Ricci, sumo, pinfu, no Ura, but that's 5,300 points to break out of the back of the pack there.
Yeah, the
hand
hand
into South 3.
The hand itself was only worth 2,700. The sticks in the middle was worth 2,600. So basically doubled the value of the hand just from what was in the middle of the table.
Right, absolutely. Well, we see Julian making some quick steps here in South 3, picking up Easts right away. We see a Honitsu possibly from this hand, especially with these draws. Very nice. Oh, but dropping the South might be trying to keep some other options open here. And Riley has some good shapes in this hand. Good 5-tile set in Sozu. And some good things happening in Pinzu as well. And Leon, who just picked up that big sumo, has 2 Dora in this hand, the 5-so. And good shapes to go along with that. And Andre, a good presence of Pinzu here. And a good sequence already set up with Sozu. So this hand could also be pretty competitive on this board.
Yeah, it looks like Julian's going to be rewarded for not forcing a Honitsu here. A So block has already been completed, and now a Mon block well in hand as well. Takes the headless shape here with the Pom.
Ooh. Yeah, nice pick there. Even though, as you said, that does remove the head. Quite a bit of possibility if you decide to wait on that 8-5 open shape there.
This is the
which is what he's
awkward.
going to.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, he's going to go to a Tonki now. 7-pin, which we see 2 of in Andre's hand right now.
Might even come out.
Yeah, as he changes that to a sequence.
Kang.
Oop, con.
Calling the con.
And now switches to an odd Yamen shape. 3-3-4-5 Mon. Can win on 3 Mon or 6 Mon.
Each.
Oh, the
We
con's
see
going to make
6
this
mon.
Reachy juicy.
Ooh, there we go. 3-pin, 5-pin. By the way, the 5 so. Wait, that was the first Dora. That we gotta go to the next one. 7 so is the new Dora here, and yes, that'll be an extra Dora for Julian's hand, and also for Riley's hand if that
Gee.
converts. Which it's looking competitive, but it's gonna have to drop a dangerous tile to win.
Yeah, it's going to be tricky for Riley. Riley really needs to draw the 4 Mon.
Yeah.
And we'll see if Julian
4
makes a
mon.
switch here. What is safer, 3 Mon or 8 so? 8 so is right next to the Dora, so it looks very suspicious. And yeah, Julian doesn't like it, wants to discard
Yeet.
the 8. And that's
Still
just
good
in time.
shape.
Riley gets to
Ooh.
discard the 3 Mon safely.
Oh man. Perfect timing, and you're clear for reach at this point, waiting on the 2-pin, 9-pin.
It's very tricky
Shanpon
wait.
wait. Yeah.
With the 8-pin being conned, you expect the 9-pin to be discarded if anyone draws it, especially with one of the 9-pin being discarded already.
It looks safe, and it's also useless.
Chi.
And now Andre joining the fun, but he's going to deal in with that 2-pin for Ricci Dora 2 for 7,200 points.
Yeah, Riley unfortunately missing on all the Uradora, but that win is very important. Puts Riley in second place here, going into all last.
There we go. 240 points is what Riley's got now. It's all last, and we'll see if he can climb his way out. We have 2 sequences here, 5, 6, 7, 2, 3, 4. I mean, this hand is looking really, really nice to begin that climb. Should he have dreams of at least getting above 30k? Maybe not quite there yet, but that's coming up.
Yeah, the hand's already Ishan 10 with Jianmin shape in the Penzu, Jian Kan shape in the Sozu. Looking very good.
Yes. In the meantime, Leon already has the Easts lined up. But this is an East round, so those aren't worth any points. But hey, it's an Anko. Otherwise, good shapes to keep together here, but nothing else really going on in that hand right now. Andre with some good shapes of his own. It's all just kind of buddied up tiles right now, though. No real 3 of a kinds yet.
I wonder if Andre will start to call for 1-2-3 Sanchoku. Right now has the 1-2-3 shape in the Sozu, but needs a 3-pin and a 2 Mon to make that hand a reality.
Well, we got the 2 Mon in Leon's hand, which may come out soon, or not at all.
Yeah, presumably if a 5 Mon is drawn, it could, in fact, come out of that hand.
Yeah, but that would be the quick way for Andre to shut this game down and take those points to the leaderboard.
Andre might just draw it himself. Has just picked up the 3-pin. Ishanten for Andre. Of course, we have Leon Ishanten as well, and Riley has been Ishanten this whole time, has upgraded that Diankan shape, the 2-4-6-0 shape, into a 6-7 Diamen. Still waiting for one good draw to be able to declare Ricci or Ricci Pin Fudora. Needs a 5-8 pin or a 5-8 so. A lot of those tiles have been discarded. We can see 2 8-pin and 2 5-pin now discarded on the table, and you assume some are being held, so Riley's probably not very optimistic about filling that shape right now.
Yeah. He has options to turn this into something else, but time is definitely running out. Ooh, picks up an Anko of Wests.
Ooh, 6.
Maybe not the news he wanted, but...
Yeah, it is helpful, though, because if you believe your Ryamen shape is not good, you could pair up the 6-pin or 7-pin, and that will help you. Oh, no, the backfire! Yeah, I was wondering if Riley would read that the 3-6 Mon was better than the 6-7. Unfortunately, is missing out on Tempai here. In fact, dropping a Dora. We won't see the call for Leon, as Leon really wants to declare Ricci. Take some more points here.
And now Andre's Tenpai waiting on the Tumon, which is dead, but there is one in Leon's hand.
And out it comes.
And there it goes! And Andre will get to shut this game down with Sanshoku Dojun and one Dora. 2,000 points to put him back above 60k, and this first game is in the books.
Huge game for Andre. I mean, we did see that massive dealer Hanemon win. It was a Tsumo, and the rest of the table was just playing for second after that point. It looks like plus 50.9 for Andre.
That's going to put him above 200 points, almost 250 in this leaderboard. And there's the updated scores on the right side of your screen there. Andre with 244 points. Sadly, the other three players with this floating Uma are going to lose points here. Riley is going to drop small points, losing 6 points there. Leon losing 16, and Julian losing 28.7. So not a huge shift in the leaderboard. I think Julian dropped a spot there.
Yes.
But he's still sitting in the promotion zone at 58.6. And Riley and Leon still occupying 12th and 14th.
Yeah, it looks like they started the second game immediately after the first one ended, so we'll just be hopping into that.
Andre wanting to keep the heat going. And yes, here we go. East 1. We're already into this game too. And Leon is our first dealer. We see good pairs so far in this hand and a good shape in the Pinzu right now, but otherwise has 5 tiles just kind of sitting on their own at the end. Gonna have to figure out what to do with them. Riley, our starting south seat, has some decent shapes here. You already have a completed 1, 2, 3 Sozu. And Andre, our starting west seat, has some good sequences in the hand right now and a pair of the norths. And Julian, this is looking rather nice. You got a good shape in Sozu right now and a couple of pairs to go along with it.
I think every player around this table has a reason to be somewhat optimistic about their hand. But each hand is missing something crucial here, and so we'll see which one can develop the fastest. Julian with that 3-pin draw is looking quite nice to have a Ricci Pinfu Dora 1. Probably the best hand at the table right now.
And Leon picking up a pair of the Chun. That might be his key to victory.
Oh, that's actually really huge here. Gives Leon a chance to open the hand, speed it up a little bit. Could even have called that 8 on for an Otozuke play, but gets the Chun right afterwards.
There you go. But yeah, now he can call whatever he wants because he's got that Yaku locked in.
And there goes the 8-mon anyway. So right at the Tenpai for the 3-6 So. For the value of Chun only, that is 1,500 points.
But at this point, you can just start making some momentum and keeping that dealership with you, maybe starting a good lead of your own. Because I think everybody knows they've got to compete with Andre at this table right now. Because I didn't point this out before, but Andre almost 100 points ahead of second place now. So he's definitely the guy to catch right now.
Sumo.
We'll see if Leon can do it, starting off with this Chun win for 1,500 points.
500 all, keeps things close, and Leon continues the dealership. I mean, this high pie is pretty strong as well. You've got the Dora 4-mon in your hand, and just all good blocks. You have a couple of honor tiles to get rid of, but the 6-mon draw as well, super helpful for Leon. Completing one of your shapes, and just continue to play standard, efficient cuts.
Very nice. Yeah, you have that Dora in hand and good shapes here. Riley with what looks to be an Itsu shape for Pinzu right now. All you need is the 6 and the 9. Very nice. You can have that set up and ready to go. Good to have that early. Across the way, Andre with already an Anko of the 8 So. And good shapes all around to support it. Similar story for Julian. You have a potential Ipeco with the 7, 8, 9 pin there. But we have Andre already in Tenpai, calling the Ricci, throwing in the stick, waiting on 1 So, 4 So right now.
Yeah, this is Ricci Dora. Can even be Tanyo as well if you win on the 4 So. would actually be a really big win for Andre. And if you can flip Uda, of course,
Sumo.
that's huge. But there's a
Oh,
sumo,
and it's
Ippot
sumo. Incredible. Ipatsumo. Ricci Ipatsumo.
Oh!
Dora with 3 Ora! Oh my goodness, that's going to send him right about where we were at going into the half of the last game. Andre already pulling out some extreme domination to start us off as we head to just East 2.
Andre wasn't satisfied with just Ipatsumo from manga and said, how can I turn this into a Hanemon? And found a way. Ura-san, that's the way to do it.
Yes. That must be his passive ability. He just can pull a Hanemon out of thin air if the situation demands it.
And just like you said, this situation, it's the same one as in the last game. It's early in the game, and the 3 other players are fighting for second at this point.
Yeah, now, they have plenty more time to catch up this time, I feel like. It's just East 2, and Riley taking the dealership now with 1 Dora in hand and a good shape around it. Also have the Hatsus from the get-go, so that's going to really lock in that Yaku. Definitely what you want to see as dealer. To start chaining some wins together, start chaining some points together. As that's what you're going to need to do to face Andre here. Whose hand is looking pretty dang good too. Good pairs right now. A sequence set up in the Pinzu. Already good to go. Might be going for Chitoy here with those 4 pairs, but we'll see what he does.
Ooh, Riley has an interesting choice here. After this Dora 3-mon draw, now you have 5 pairs. Doesn't want it. Doesn't want to play for pairs. Will play for a standard hand.
Ipeiko with the Hatsu. That would not be too bad at all.
Yeah, I really like
Ipeiko Hatsu with 2 Dora.
Exactly. I really like the 5-so cut there instead of the 1-pin, but this also holds your Ishanten together.
Mm-hmm.
And Riley is really hoping to draw around this 5-so to get a diamond shape. Certainly an understandable move. And there it is, rewarded. Rewarded with a 4-so draw. So now this is a very good Ishanten for Riley.
Mm-hmm. Haven't really looked at Leon's hand yet. This hand is looking very competitive too. Already got the Easts in for their Yakuhai getting locked in early. But we have Tenpai for Andre now, going Dama. Or wait, is that?
It is. It's Chitoy. It's 7 pairs.
It is. That's right. Waiting on the 7-pin, but that'll be Riley throwing the stick. Waiting on 1 pin. 1 mon, 4 mon. 4 mon finishing up that Ipeiko shape, of course.
Ooh. Will we see a Leon chase here? I think we will. It is against Dealer Ricci, but... Yep, there's the chase. 8 mon discarded, and you're going to be waiting on 4 mon, 7 mon.
Wow. So we got 3 players in Tenpai, and now Andre's going to join him in this fray. Now he's going to be waiting on the 3-pin, which does look suspicious with the 2-pin drop, but that'll be Riley winning this face-off. With Ricci Sumo Hatsu with 2 Dora, picking up a pretty big lead for himself right there.
Yeah, 12,000 points right back. Missed on Ura to make that 18,000, but finally a competitor for Andre. Riley actually taking that lead with the big sumo and continuing the dealership.
Incredible. So we might see an alternate ending to this familiar story as East 2 continues now. 9 So is the Dora, and we see one of those already in Riley's hand. This could go easily for the Hatsu. The other suit's not really coming together, but you do have a pair of Pinzu now, so we'll see how that goes. But look at Andre's hand. Woo. 2 Anko already locked in for the Manzu. That can go many different ways, and all of them would be devastating for the rest of the team. So
there's even a 1-2-3 Sanchoku chance you'd have to drop away from one of your Anko.
Yeah.
But when you look at that, you want to make San Anko. But already a Ricci from Julian.
Oh.
So fast here. Only 4 turns. There's a Dora in that hand as well. This is quite good. Ricci, Pinfu, Dora, 39 minimum.
Waiting on the 5 of the 8-mon here. Of course, the 8-mon all locked up in Andre's hand. We see 1 in Leon's hand. He's going to pick up the 5, though. And, good read there, because you kind of drop either one of those depending on how you want that shape to go.
Interesting move by Riley. Riley had the opportunity to call double East here and try to fight, lets it pass, and in fact, even after drawing the Dora connector 8-so, chooses to discard away from the East pair, so not wanting to fight against this Ricci, at least not fight immediately. Riley continues to draw well and could find Tenpai in the future.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, we'll see. That's incredible. Oh, and now a 5-mon pickup from Riley. He's going to hang on to that. Good read.
Eventually, Riley's going to have to push something probably. So in this situation, you could go Chun, you could go 5-pin. Chooses the 8-so. So the 8-so is 100% safe against the Ricci, but it does destroy your hand. And we did see Riley playing somewhat passively here.
This could be your way back in, potentially.
Yeah, I don't think Riley
he's thinking about it.
Comfortable about the 7-so either.
Yeah.
And it drops
now,
the
you've got a
Chun.
lead. It's not a great...
And now the 7-pin came out, so it's very safe here. Riley should be able to fold out for the rest of this hand. And in the meantime, Leon drawing all these winning tiles. Only one left in the wall for Itsumo, for Julian. And this is actually Ishan 10 for Leon. I'm curious, if Leon draws into Tenpai, will he push? It looks like just filling out with the south. Andre, in the meantime, has collected all of these Mon tiles. I don't think there's a way Andre gets to Tenpai here, but it would be amazing if he managed. Well, there's one call. Technically, Ishan 10 could find Tenpai here. And unlikely to deal in either. Most of the time you have this 9-mon cut, which will pass. But it looks like we will enter Ryukyoku. It just has to pass one more tile safely here, and the 8-pin should be able to do it. Or the west as well passes. So Julian will pick up the 3,000 points, leave 1,000 in the middle as the Ricci stick, and we will move forward into East 3. I love the puns, He-Man Star Fox. I wish Blaine was here to see it. I've actually lost connection with my co-commentator, but hopefully...
I'm back.
You're back! Sweet!
Sorry about that.
Well, it got really exciting at the end. Andre managed to beat Ishanten for Chinitsu, just collected all the Mon tiles in the hand, and just barely missed out. So it was Julian picking up the Ryukyoku payments, and it sent us into East 3. We see Riley on the left opening up for the Chun early, hoping to just collect the sticks that are in the middle of the table. We have Andre as dealer with good shapes to...
Yeah, there's
the door's awkward, right?
In the middle, yeah. Door is awkward, yes. It's the 8-so. And in Andre's hand here, could turn into something, could not. That 7 shape, I mean, getting the 7... could go with the 5, 6, 7, or a 6, 7, 8 at this point. I'll be curious to see how he handles that should it happen. Oh, here's the 9, so that kind of changes things.
Yeah, maybe you end up going for the Itsu, the straight 1 through 9 in the Sozu.
As I get my bearings back here.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah,
Julian on the right has... you're gonna comment on the fact that it was just 2 away from Tenpai, perhaps?
Yes, it's looking very nice. That's definitely competitive on this board. And across the way, Leon, that's good presence of Pinzu there. And decent shape in Sozu. Has the Dora. Looks like he's going to hang on to that to the bitter end. You'd like to see the 7 in that hand as well to help round that out and give you some points. As just like everybody else who's not named Riley or Andre right now, you do need those points. But it'll take an Anko of the 8-pin to keep this going. Let's see, Riley.
2 hands now, Leon and Andre, that both desperately need the 7, and it will be Leon who finds Tenpai for that 7, and Riley has the 7, so will come right out. Does not fit in the hand anymore.
And there you have Tanyao Dora 2.
So moving into East 3, things have calmed down a little bit. Gone are the days of Hanuman and Mangan wins. We were working it out with these cheap ones, but Julian has an opportunity here to make some points as dealer.
Right. Sorry, this is... Okay, there we go. Yeah, picking up the Hatsu immediately for Julian here. As we see a Dora 3-so in this hand as well. So you've got quickness and you've got potentially some points. Definitely something you want to see as dealer. And good shapes to go along with it. That's some nice stuff happening in Ginzu.
It's just
but we
already
have
Tenpai. It's already Tenpai.
Yeah.
You just cannot
Andre
get away
thrown
from
in
it.
a stick. Andre looking to take back this lead here with a very quick hand. That's going to be waiting on the 6-so or the 9, and picks up the 9. Not quite a Patsu, but we'll take it. Richi, Sumo, Pinfu, Dora 1. No Ura, but that'll be 6,200 points and the lead.
Andre climbing right back over 40,000, sending us into the South round. And I believe this is twice now that Julian has had the dealership skipped by Atsumo.
And we'll see Julian once again making an early call for Yakuhai here, calling the Souths as we go into the South round. He's got a Dora 9-pin, again looking for some points with the quickness there. Got a sequence picking up right there, the 5-6-7 Mon. The rest of the hand is going to be a little slow to resolve right now.
Yeah, it really is a mess, and you just really need to pair up the Dora, get rid of a couple of these honor tiles, and make something out of it with that early call. But it's hard to force these things to happen. And
oh, but here's a good draw with the 7-pin.
Yeah, we'll see if he can make it work. I mean, in all likelihood, Julian calls this down and ends up waiting on the 9-pin, the Dora, hoping for South Dora 2.
Not to be outdone, our dealer hand here. Great shape so far, just nothing really completed yet. Well, you've got a pair now with 2-pin, I suppose. But it's going to take some work to make one of these work out. And across the way, Andre, that's going to be another real strong hand if this works out. Got a Dora 9-pin and has an Ipeko shot there.
Ooh, I see a path. I have a dream. It is Junchan Sanshoku, Junchan Jianpeko Dora 2.
Oh, yeah, that could definitely happen. Look at those pairs coming together in the Manzu with the 7s and the 8s. Now you're going to need to find a 6 or a 9 at some point, and that's not a 4.
And hopefully the 9s. Those would be ideal. I would love to see the hand. It's such a gorgeous hand in Mahjong.
Oh, absolutely. And on this kind of heat that Andre's having right now, that could happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
That would not be out of the realm of possibilities right now.
I mean, there are 3 9-mons in the wall. As far as the door is concerned, 2 of those in the wall as well. It's completely possible here.
Absolutely. And Riley's got some good shapes here. This could be the defensive shutdown button hand here, perhaps. There's not a whole lot happening in points at the moment. We could see Sanshoku. Possibly. Well, you'd have to find 3 tiles you don't have yet in Sozu at all.
Well, while we're dreaming up ridiculous hands for Andre, we might as well dream for Leon. It's only fair.
Look at this. Already 2 Ankos. He's going to decide if he really wants to commit to it. Looks like he is.
Yep, Ishanten here.
We're not saying Suanko just yet.
No.
Not the S word, but we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, maybe Sananko, the smaller version. Not the Yakuman, but still.
Hey,
there's
as
a chance
dealer,
for it.
I would welcome that with open arms as
that's
dealer.
the
And here's Ricci throwing the stick. 3-sided weight on the Manzu for 1, 4, and 7. So Riley gonna kill that Apatsu, but
yeah, that's actually
move to Tenpai.
Even more than a kill. That's a Tenpai call. So Riley could steal this away if the Chun comes out. Oh, but
there's the Sumo. So yeah, no Apatsu, but it will be Ricci Sumo with 3 Ura. Ura-san is not done with this game yet. Putting in 12,000 points. That is a dealer's Mongon. 33,700 now, and moving into second place.
Well, that wasn't quite Junchan Gianpeko, but still quite exciting for Leon, who is back in this game, over 30,000 now, and into second place, has a chance at chasing down Andre for first. Of course, Andre not going to go quietly into this good night, is calling the South, can call the House as well, maybe even make a So Honitsu out of this, and it looks like Julian on the left is trying to do the same, but in the Manzu. Already calling 3-4-5, can call a 2-mon or a 7-mon, and even the East.
Yeah, but look at Leon's hand here. This is coming together, like, this is a good conventional hand. Nothing real special about it, but it is going to help shut down what's already looking to be a very scary situation at this table.
I like this move from Leon. One so. Let's turn this into Tanya. All the rest of the players are going so fast here. You need to match the speed here. And going Tanya allows you to open your hand and call.
Meanwhile, Riley, well, this hand is not as close as the others, but it is still looking ship shape. It's just going to be tough to catch up with this extreme speed, even as Julian calls the Easts.
That's a great draw. Ishanten for Riley.
Oh, man. I take that back. It's anybody's game here.
And Leon calling to match speed. Ishanten for him as well.
And there's a good pickup for Riley.
It helps improve the shape here. I'm sure there's a little hesitation as Riley discards the 2-mon, thinking, is Julian Tempai for the Mon Honitsu? Will this 2-mon deal in, or this future 7-mon? Riley's got to be very careful about how he plays this.
I mean, you do see the two called shapes, the 1-2-3 and the 3-4-5, kind of overlap, so that kind of makes the two a little less useful in a hand like this. As we see here, as Julian draws one and has no place for it. But
we do have dealer Tempai. Oh, passes it up. Says, I cannot discard a 7-mon. And, well, Julian is looking for a 7-mon, but isn't Tempai yet. And now Riley reveals that it was actually safe all along. And just as I say that, Julian does pick up a 7-mon and is now Tempai waiting for the Green Dragon.
But now we also have Leon in Tenpai as well, I believe.
Yes, but there's no Yaku here.
Yeah, that's true. Because of the 9...
So Leon will just be dancing around and hoping that this goes to the end of the hand. But
I don't think that's happening. Here's the sumo. I was thinking that before that happened, but that'll be the South and Ricci, I believe. Was that the other Han? It goes by so quickly.
The Riley had declared Ricci for Ricci Tanya, something along those lines, and then Andre across the table sumoed the Honitsu. South Honitsu, I believe it was.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was just the South. I don't remember what was in the hand. It happened so fast.
Yeah. Well, that'll be Andre calling calling himself back into the lead here, and Riley dropping below 30K as he takes on dealership here in South 2. You see a strong Honitsu hand here. You still have a Dora 3-pin. Maybe hang on to that in case the event that something happens with that, but I don't know. I think you drop that sooner rather than later, especially with a Pinzu Honitsu hand happening for Andre right now, as he has already called and made that quite somewhat clear with that 4-5-6.
4-mon discard especially really signals that this is going to be Honitsu. And so we'll have dueling Honitsu hands, Riley in the Sozu, Andre in the Pinzu, and what's going on the left?
Well, Leon just calling that 4-mon. I don't think this is going to be Honitsu, but again, it's just more speed. They have not let their foot off the gas. Again, oh, look at Riley. He just dropped the 3 and it comes right back in his hand.
Yeah, occasionally you do want to hold the door, even if it's not Honitsu for you, because you can pair it up, and open Honitsu is the same thing as having door 2. We do see a call of the 8-pin. For Andre, Ishanten now for Toy. No, it's not Toy. There's a G there. But maybe double South Honitsu for Mongon. And then, of course, Riley calling this Haku, advancing the hand further. I wonder if Julian's going to start opening up, or if Julian thinks this is going to be a pair's hand. And of course, Leon looking for the Green Dragon, but Julian's got 2 of those as well, and not inclined to give those up so easily.
Okay. Yes. Sorry, I had to step off for a little bit here, but yeah, this hand going at breakneck pace. Andre Now, 10 pi waiting on a Shan pawn of the 5-pin, 7-pin
And I
for
think
that Honitsu.
Julian recognizes that it's now too late to drop any pin tiles, and that's why we see the 7-mon coming out. If anything, Julian will be aiming for 7 pairs. Chi, Doitsu. But I'm not sure that Julian could afford to drop even the West here, even though it was once cut. So it might just be a bail for Julian. Same thing for Leon, drawing this 2-3 pin. You can't.
Look at this draw from Riley.
Oh my. This is Tempai. 5-so should pass. There's only 1 9-so left in the wall, so
weighing
maybe
it all out.
Yeah, Riley's thinking
5.
it's not worth it. And maybe there's better chances at improving the shape in the lower so. But I think this is fine.
He'd like to pick up another 8, go for Toy or 7.
Absolutely. And I think if the 2-so comes out, we'll even see a pawn. I think. And of course, the decision that Riley was making now comes to fruition. Could have paired up that 5-so and been Tempai for that Toy. But I still think this was the right play.
Yeah, good play there. When you have all these calls happening at breakneck speed, it definitely tests your mental fortitude. Just keeping cool, sticking with a plan, or changing it. Adapting as you need here.
And now Leon has drawn this West. It's a very unlucky talent. There it is, rewarded with the 9-so.
There you go. Riley picking up the Easts, Haku, and something else.
Honitsu as well.
Yeah, Honitsu. There you go.
And
he's going to retake the lead.
Still very tight. South 2 only. Leon has now dropped back below 30,000. Julian has been unfortunately unable to put a hand together against the speed that these other players are displaying here.
But you see Riley really rising to the challenge laid down by Andre in game 1. So it's neat to see this happen. But we're looking at this hand now for dealership. It looks pretty okay. You have a sequence locked in for 6, 7, 8. And that's really about it. The door, of course, is 1 mon. That could fit nicely into this hand. Riley's thinking about what shape it needs to take here, and that will definitely see what happens. And Andre here with the good sequences here at the moment.
Hatsu pair.
Got some stuff to Hatsu pair. Yeah, would like to fill in some other stuff. There's a 5-so pair. Interesting.
We've seen Andre go for pairs before.
Could happen.
Maybe a little bit early to think about that now, but if you pair up the door, it's certainly a consideration. And across the way, Julian has completed a mon shape, and as well as a pin shape there, and another Diamond forming. So this is Ishanten all ready for Julian. Is this the hand? Julian could pop out ahead. Riley's trying to speed up here. Ishanten now for Tanyao, trying to prevent Julian from putting something together, but this is Tempai. And I think we're going to see a Ricci here, even though it's Ricci Pinfu only, and there are some value upgrades. Julian just wants to win a hand, anything to stem the bleeding here.
He's waiting on 3-so, 6-so here. Of course, the 2 6-sos in Riley's hand, and one of them's going to come out and deal in immediately.
That's huge. Ipatsu increases the value. Can we flip Ura? We can!
Gets 1, and that's a Mangan helping out our Julian in last place. He's going to move up to 21,000 points. And has a shot here. He will have 1 dealer turn at the end of this before it's over.
That's huge.
South 3.
It's a
tactical victory for sure.
A blessing for sure that you get the Ipatsu. That helps so much. It doubles the hand value, and Julian actually has a chance here to not only escape 4th, but even make it over 30,000. With South 3 yet to go, South 4, Julian will be all last dealer, so has a chance to go on a run here. We'll see if he can pull it off.
And sorry for ducking in and out, He-Man, Star Fox. This is what it's like when your roommate likes to run around in boxes behind you. It's not great.
We need need cat co-stream. We can get a 3rd name here.
Yeah, Pawncat stream at some point. Anyway, South 3 is underway. 6 mon is the door right now. And good shapes for our dealer's hand, which is Andre right now, and good shapes so far. Now, this could be another dominant performance from Andre pretty easily here. In many ways, this can go. Ooh, there's another pair. So that's 4 now.
Yeah, this is getting quite interesting. I'm not sure how Andre wants to take where Andre wants to take this hand. I think maybe a Tanyao could just be the end result. I mean, if you the 5 pin doesn't have to be a pair in this hand. You can draw around that and maybe build towards like 3-4-5 Sanchoku with 3-4-5 Ipeko in the Sozu. That would be sort of the maximum value play for Andre. But
And Riley, though, look at this hand. Has about 5 pairs of his own. Sorry, 4 pairs of his own right now. But
multiple
more importantly,
Anko.
2 of those pairs are graduating into Ankos. So,
Yeah,
this
gets
could turn into something pretty big. But now we have Leon calling Ricci, waiting on the
Yeet.
3 pin only. And now Riley's going to call Ricci. He's waiting on the 3 and the...
2-5.
Sorry, 2 and the 5.
And this is...
Which...
Unfortunately had to discard the Dora. Did not get to make Sun Anko. Did not get any extra value other than this Ricci Nomi. But it is a hand that you could fight with. And chose to take it.
Especially if you knock that right off of Andre, but it'll be going the other way instead. Leon dealing this one. Ricci, Dora with no Ura, but that's still some points that he's going to need to push into 30k, and Riley going below 30k on that.
Yeah, this is still pretty close for Riley. Riley can make it back in all last over 30k. You need to be over 30,000 to have a positive score when the game ends. So that will be Riley's goal here. And even first place isn't out of the question. A Monkan Sumo for Riley will put him in first place. But Andre, the hand on the left, looks like he's not going to give up first place. Has the South Anko already. So there's a Yaku here. Can just call this down for the win. Even a Dora and a Hatsu pair that is almost unnecessary in the hand for Andre.
It's winding up for an incredible shot to put a big exclamation mark on this game. Yeah, looking at Julian's hand right now. That's some pairs right at the moment. Good shapes they're kind of forming into, but has some decisions to make here. Andre going ahead with his plan to shut things down quickly. Hatsu called early on.
Ishanten with 2 diamond shapes. You just cannot stop this man.
Oh, man.
It just feels like he's destined to win this. I don't think anyone is fast enough to stop this.
He's got that main character energy right now for sure.
Absolutely. Oh, wow. Okay, now this is greedy. This is some fun mahjong. Holding the north pair, and not even dropping one of the pairs, holding multiple pairs in this hand, wants even more value out of this.
Picks up the 1 so, gonna still drop the 3 so anyway, because you got that Dora shape.
Yeah, an overabundance of shapes in that hand for Andre. And this has given Julian some time in Ishanten for Pinfu.
Riley, meanwhile, with some good shapes happening up there. But this isn't quite coming together like the other hands right now, unfortunately. He'd like to just nudge himself above 30k, take home some points here.
Yeah, the hand is moving in the right direction. It's just not fast enough. If you look at those discards, all these honor tiles that are just useless to the hand have been cut already. That just means that Riley hasn't been drawing spectacularly well. These tiles just haven't been helpful. There's not a lot you can do when that's the case, but when you see one player open and making so many Tadashi cuts like Andre is, you're very concerned that they're just going to outspeed you, and that you need to be moving fast in your own hand, which might push Riley to starting to call for Tanya here. It's gonna be difficult with these shapes, but if Riley feels the need, he might just do that.
It is GDQ week. Speed is the name of the game. That's Summer Games Done Quick, of course, also happening on Twitch. We're glad you're spending time with us. That'll be Ricci for Julian, though. Waiting on the 5 and the 8 so. Pair of 8s in Riley's hand, and we see one of each in Leon's hand right now. And this could also... This is not quite 10 pi.
Yeah.
It's Ishan 10. Very close. Should he wish to pursue it?
Andre looking for that last north and a 7-pin should anybody drop
Oh,
that.
but he's dropping the north.
Not willing to push the 4. The 4 did look suspect.
Right up against the 3-pin that he reached with.
Especially with the early 5-pin, it makes 1-4 look a lot worse.
Mm-hmm. Either way, this hand is about to come to an end.
There's Tenpai on the right, though.
Sumo.
That's right. But only Sumo for our dealer. For Ricci, Sumo, no Ura, but this game continues. 24,000 points for our dealer.
We said, watch out for Julian. Had that big Mongon win, now a dealer Sumo. Climbing up, not quite into 3rd place yet, but getting very close. And of course, as dealer, you can really rack in the points.
Absolutely. And with this hand here, he's definitely got a shot. Not a sure shot, but a shot nonetheless. The Dora is 8-so, and we see one of those in this hand. Main object of concern is the Pinzu. You've got 3. Well, you have a pair now in the middle of that, but the other 2 have got to go at some point.
I'm looking at Leon's hand on the right. So many honor tiles that aren't very useful, and a couple pairs in the lower Manzu, but I'm not seeing a very clear path to the value that Leon's looking for to take 1st place.
Let's see. Julian making some progress here, though.
Home.
Picking up, yeah. These draws have been pretty much nothing but progress.
Yeah, it's going to be very difficult for Julian to decide what to do with this upper So shape, the 899 shape in the Sozu, because you want to use the Dora 8, but all of your other shapes are looking very good. So Julian chooses to discard one of the pairs. That seems to be a smart play, given that generally for a standard hand you only want to have 2, and Julian had 3 at this point. So just deciding to lock in the 2-3 pin shape, the 4-5 So shape, and the 899 So shape as likely the final shapes in this hand.
Go.
Keep in mind that Andre is pushing Ishanten now. Kutsuki Ishanten can draw around the 3-pin or the 5-1.
Andre also moving to Ishanten here with 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8 in Sozu. Well, maybe it's not quite.
Yep,
oh, that would be a Shanten there.
So now Andre can win on the 6-mon, but...
Oh, that's Tenpai. Never mind.
Yeah, not the greatest weight.
A weight nonetheless, and you want to find that button to shut down this Julian uprising here.
Ooh.
Before it gets too bad.
I honestly thought Andre would switch the weight to a Tonki, keep the 7, 8, 9 shape in hand, maybe discard the 8-mon or the 5, and then just shift around that Tonki until you get a better shape. But likes the 6-mon, there are 2 left in the wall. Yeah, Riley with some very difficult decisions. Andre just knows. Like the 6-mon, found it.
Away. With Haku, Dora 1, picking up 2,300 more points to put him almost to 40k. Otherwise, another big win for Andre here as this dominance continues. Again, the only one above 30k, so is the only one getting points. He'll take away 29.6.
That Sumo, because it was a Sumo, knocked Leon below.
Yes, of course. Leon, well, about as neutral as you can get without being right on 30k. Will lose 0.4 points. Riley losing 6.1, and Julian with negative 22. We have updated standings on the right side of your screen. Now Andre's made it official. He is 100 points ahead of 2nd place and then some. And Julian dropping out of promotion now into 7th. Riley and Leon buddying up now 13th and 14th. As there's still, though, 2 games to play with this group of people. So we could see these change up a little bit more yet.
Yes, I do believe this table is only playing the 2 games this evening, so that will give us time to switch to another table. And of course, even though Julian has popped out of the promotion zone right now, still within 5 points of being in the promotion zone. Look at how low that is.
Yeah.
The 5th slot is at plus 41, with so many games yet to play in this division.
What's up for grabs? I mean, that's just a couple of big Andre-sized wins for Riley. to even get back in promotion if he'd like.
Absolutely. Even if you're in the negatives at this point, it is by no means out of the stretch of imagination that you can come back, especially if you have games to play. If you haven't played any of your round 5 games, although much of A2 has been proactive in scheduling their matches early and has already played a lot of their games.
Mhm.
But
Keep an eye on that, of course, as we go all around this ARML league.
I'm looking at the games that are upcoming, and I think the most recently started game is one in Division A1. So maybe we can hop over there. That's the division that the players that we just watched are aiming to jump into after the end of the season. They're hoping to promote into the top division.
Right.
And there is a game that's going on right now that actually these are round 4 games. Unfortunately, things get busy occasionally out in the real world, and the games do have to get rescheduled, and that's the case for this series. But there are 4 very skilled modern players that I love to watch, and I'm really excited to see how things are going in this matchup.
Absolutely. And here it is. It's already in East 4 right now. You can see it is between Yukatora, Navitas, One Shot, and can't quite see that name. Zelkin, there we go.
Yeah, and before I get the names up, it'll take me a second, so bear with me. But One Shot is Andrew, a new entrant into A1 and doing fairly well here. Steve, of course, a longtime player and very strong 7-Dan, is in the middle of the A1 standings. Navitas,
But
Lucas,
also,
a well-known streamer, 7-Dan, recently became a 7-Dan player, quite strong. Having a little bit of a rough go recently, has had some unlucky series, but I always love watching him play and catching his streams as well. And then Kenyon on the left, won A1 last season.
That's true, yeah. So it's a 7-Dan battle here at this table with a 2 and a 3-Dan, of course. You know, some people play 10-0 more than others, but either way, this is quite the matchup. And here's One Shot, hoping for a one shot, as he throws in the stick for Ricci, waiting on the 2 and the 5 pin for what is a very conventionally good-looking hand.
Yeah, Ricci Haku is quite strong as dealer.
No frills, it's just going to get your job done here as dealer.
And that's sort of Andrew's game. Very standard play patterns. We'll aim for big hands like this one.
Absolutely. Of course, we see the 2s are pretty much locked up in these hands. Might be a little loose in Lucas's hand right now. But for Zelkin, those 2 5 pin might be something.
Yeah, this is a tough defensive task here. This is a 3rd place Ricci. Andrew currently at 24,000 points.
Third place dealer Ricci, so...
Right, it's a dealer Ricci, and you definitely don't want to be paying into that. Dealers earn 1.5 times what other non-dealers would earn for a hand, so...
That's right, you always want to be cautious around an East Reach.
And these players are very skilled defensively.
Of course.
If they're dealing in, it's for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Interestingly, Kenyon on the left has a chance at actually putting a hand together here. This is actually Ishanten for 7 pairs with 2 Dora.
Kenyon is Yukatora?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm slowly updating these standings.
I gotcha.
There's even a Chanta possibility here.
Yeah. Oh, but look at that pickup. Yeah, that's a Chanta, Eve Peiko even, with that 1 pin pickup. Rian Peiko, if this really gets some ambition in a hurry, but only 15 tiles left. Not that many draws, so... Especially picking up a Chun, which looks safe. He discarded one much earlier on, but that's the only one we see on the board right now.
Very, very cautiously playing around this Ricci. How many tiles are left in the well for this way? It looks like just the 2 5 pin are remaining.
Mm-hmm. But only 7 tiles left. Good odds they're in the dead wall, though, at this point.
Kenyon back to Ishan 10. There's one of the
Ooh,
5
here's
pin.
the 5.
Can Kenyon find Tempai here? Would even call for it, I'm sure. There it is. Do you dare push the 9 so? There's so much value in this hand.
There is, but there's not many 9 so out there. He's going to go for it, though.
She definitely recognizes that this is a hand worth pushing. It does pass.
Kenyon didn't win League without taking some risks. We're
1、
seeing that here.
Steve forcing Lucas,
Steve.
making this call just to force Lucas to make one more discard.
Wow, the mental games are going hot, but that'll be it. That'll be Kenyon and One Shot Andrew picking up 1,500 points apiece.
And standings have updated. Our graphics on the right. We can see Kenyon. She is in 4th place overall. And if she does manage to be the top player this season as well, the championship slot will actually go to the 2nd player because she's already claimed a slot at the championship table at the end of the year.
And one of those people looks a little familiar.
Well, that
might have a shot at that.
That player is a little bit far out in the standings. Needs to pick up some points this series.
True. There's kind of a wide gulf there between 3rd and 2nd, but interesting to see Korak there at the top.
Yeah, Korak, of course, well known in the Mahjong community, very strong player, and has had a lot of success this season, despite not getting the opportunity to really play the way that that he's known for. Korak known for being a very reachy heavy player and has a very low reachy percentage this season, but
that's weird.
It's definitely,
but it's working.
It's not by choice, I can tell you that much, but that's just the way the hands have gone in. And Korak, Arthur Korak, has been just really doing extremely well this go around. We'll see if he can pull it off to take a seat at the championship table at the end of this season.
Bringing things back to the here and now, there's 4 pairs in our dealer's hand right now as Andrew continues. We have Souths, Norths, 3 so, and 3 pin.
Ooh.
And now 8 mon pair as well.
This is 5 pairs. I think Andrew is planning for 7 pairs at this point, especially with a 6 pin discard. That certainly signals that that is the plan.
Definitely what you go for in this situation.
And of course, I was going to say, with 7 pairs, the final weight can oftentimes be really tricky. So while these players are very good at defending, if your weight is something unusual, something a 7 pairs hand can offer, you could see a deal in.
At this point, you might want to target that 8 pin to be your weight, since we see one already dropped. That 6 so could also be a good choice. It looks like he's not going to go with that, though.
Yeah, the 4 so draw asks some questions. Maybe you do want this to turn into a normal hand again. We'll wait and see.
Leaving that door open. Understandable.
1、
Tempai for Lucas, but you have to drop the door here. We'll take the Ricci, though. Ricci Nomi waiting on the 2 mon. It's not a very good weight. It's not very good value, but Lucas says, I'm in first. I can apply pressure here.
Apply pressure with maybe something outside of convention.
There are 2 mon left in the wall, so definitely possible for Itsumo here.
Let's see. Yukatora, I think, is going to try and just maybe fold this one.
1、
Oh, Steve's going to fight.
At this point. Oh, Steve is fighting, yes. South and 1 pin are the weights there.
And we'll see how much dealer wants to fight. If they do choose to fold, sometimes you do end up discarding the honor pair.
Yeah, which would have the opposite than desired effect.
Yeah, I suspect if an honor pair is cut, it will be the north first. Especially because Steve has a bit of a reputation for liking the south wind.
Let's see.
I don't know how much these players will take that into account, but...
Yeah, you've played with these players regularly, so I'll cede to your experience on this one. There's a pickup of the 2 mon.
Kinden's
which is what
out. She is
Sumo.
not going to push this hand. And the last two mon will be drawn by Lucas. Richi Tsumo no Ura. But that's pretty big. You pick up all the sticks that were in the middle of the table. The Honba as well will go your way. Or will increase
It's a
the
grand
value of your
total
hand.
of 5,300 points. Now he's flirting with 50K as we head into the half. South 1 now. Dora is 1 mon. We see that in this hand, which could has the inkling of a Sanshoku, perhaps. Would be nice if that came together for Steve here. And Navitas has some good shapes happening in his hand as well. Kinyan with some good shapes of her own, but you have those 4 honors kind of sitting on their own. It might be time to figure out which ones to cut, and I think she's going to do that right away. And one shot over here, which is Andrew. Good shapes of his own right now. A sequence finished in that 6, 7, 8, 9 Pinzu.
I'm curious, looking at these shapes. I'm thinking about the possibility of a 6, 7, 8 Sanchoku, but the tiles don't necessarily lend themselves well to that, especially because you have this 5, 6 already locked away in the Sozu. If you draw the 7, that gives you the opportunity to drop the 5, but just as likely you'll draw the 4 and lose the opportunity, perhaps. We'll see how he chooses to play this.
It's a good pickup at the 7 pin for that Pinzu shape over there.
Yeah, it's interesting for Lucas with that call. It's very clear what his plan is going to be, because this is a Tanyao play, but the 2-3 mon shape can only accept the 4 mon if it's Tanyao. So you're giving up the chance to use the Dora 1 mon in this situation. And that means that Lucas is basically announced to the table, my goal is just to win the cheapest, well, not really cheapest by intention, but the fastest hand, which is usually cheaper, and just end any dealership. If it gets to my dealership, maybe I'll greed a little bit. But on the other dealerships, Lucas is just attempting to end this as soon as possible, lock in these positive points, and move away from the demotion zone.
Absolutely. Like to stay up in A1. It's where the big competition happens.
Can do with an interesting chance across the way at 4, 5, 6 Sanchoku. Ooh, I know a lot of pairs. Yeah, forgoes that option. Oh, big draw.
Big draw for Steve, yes.
Second Dora. How do you play this? Because you really want to lock that in, so it makes sense that you cut 2 mon here. But what is the plan for the future? I'm sure is what Steve is considering here. It's likely you'll end up on a Shampoo weight.
Because, they'd be waiting on the 1 in the north, which already 1 north out, discarded. Actually, no, both norths are gone.
Right,
so we have to be waiting on the Dora, which another one just dropped from Navitas. So, and the last one in the whole wall is up in Kinyan's hand right now.
Yeah, this is actually really tricky for Steve to put together. And Lucas, after having dropped the 1 mon...
If I'm Kinyan, I'm dropping that right away. He's going to call it.
So there's no Yaku here. There's unlikely to be a Yaku in this hand ever. I wonder if the rest of the table will recognize that.
As it is, this is a good move to lock in 10 pi at draw.
Right.
Perhaps. Probably what he's thinking here.
And of course, you'd love to win on Haite.
Oh, of course. Always a possibility.
Steve does have the last straw in this current state, at least. And I wonder if there was a pause when the first door came out, indicating that he had the option to call, if any of the players recognized that, and then called the second one. Normally, if you had your Yaku secured, you wouldn't pass on the first door. You'd just call it immediately. So that might give some indication that Steve is Otozuke. Well, not even Otozuke, just doesn't have a Yaku. But if you consider the things that he could be Otozuke for, like a dragon pair, it's not the Hatsu, it's not the Seat Wind Tone, it's not the Round Wind South. The Chun is out. The Haku is out. And there goes the
Don't-
4
But
for
he's
Mon.
going
That
to
goes out
drop the
too.
4 and deal into Philip's hand for 1,000 points to get him up to 50k. A nice round number as we head into South 2.
Yeah, Lucas now in control, and we'll see how he chooses to play this dealer turn. Or rather, I've gone too far.
Yeah, and why did I call him Philip just now? I have no idea where that came from. But anyway, Lucas is taking dealership now in South 2. 9 pin is the Dora, and here's a hand that could make that look real pretty. A good presence of the Pinzu right now. Good shapes right now forming up. Meanwhile, Kenyon, a lot of honors here. Makes a call on the 1-so maybe going for Honroto of some sort.
Yeah, looks like it's going to be a Honitsu play, and the North got paired up as well. So Honitsu double south,
Yeah.
looking quite strong.
That makes more sense, yeah.
Of course, calling the 1-so is pretty telling. You wonder, is it like a Honroto? Is it a Chitoi, a Junchan? Not a Chitoi, a Chanta, a Junchan? And because all of these pin tiles came out early, because the 2 pin and the 1 pin came out, you're believing more that it's a Honitsu. Another honor pair up. This is great for Kenyon.
Wow, yeah, this could pack a wallop.
Boom.
Oh, there's the North called. Things just really falling into place, both from the draws and from the discards. Always nice to see. And there's Andrew picking up the Chun triplet to say, hey, don't forget about me.
There's the South. This is going to be Tenpai. Honitsu,
and there it
Toi,
is.
double South.
Tenpai waiting on West and 5-so. West's already discarded. Those are dead. But a 5-so not seen outside of this hand yet. With 44 tiles left, very possible somebody draws this.
So this is a very interesting spot for Kenyon. If she has the opportunity to switch the weight from a Shabo, that's half dead, into a Diamond weight, I wonder if she'll take it, because it does decrease the value from Hanemon to just Mongon. But a Mongon would be enough to put her over 30,000 and in second place.
And now Philip.
Lucas.
My gosh, why am I saying that? Lucas. Now it's just stuck in my head.
Yeah, all these pin tiles.
Lucas.
Do we call this? Do you dare drop the 6-so? No, Lucas will let it pass. Not willing to risk anything in this hand.
I got it. It's like Pinzu. That's what's making me think Philip for some reason. But anyway, yes, great Pinzu collection here for Lucas. And yeah, he's got to be thinking that Sozu looks a little dangerous because of, now that more of them are coming out, maybe a little less so. Get the hint. But there is Steve picking up the 5-so now. Let's see what he does with it. Gonna hang on.
As expected, not willing to push
Yeah,
that. There's a sumo. Oh my goodness.
Oh, big sumo here. Toi with the South, double South, and Honitsu for a Hanemon. 12,000 points. That's gonna put Kenyon above 30k.
She was in 4th place, and you can never count Kenyon out when she's in.
Wow.
Even if she is in 4th place. Just has the ability to pull out these monster hands out of nowhere.
Yeah, we saw that last season for sure, and we might see more of that here. Kenyon's still the front runner in this pack as we head into South 3. Dora is 5-so, and already a pretty good starting hand for the dealer right off the bat. Good shapes in Sozu, which incorporate that Dora nicely. The rest of the suits, though, has a little bit of work to be done here, so we'll see how that turns out. Andrew right now, with some shapes kind of coming together. You got some gaps in there, though, so needs some work to be done here. That 8-mon's a pretty decent pickup, though. Steve with a good triplet of the 5-so already locked in. You have some possible value upgrades with those honors. See how that goes. And Lucas, right that time, has good shapes happening in this hand as well.
Yeah, not a lot of value there for Lucas, but could be a fast Tenpai.
Yeah. You have an Anko of the 3-pin. That's not for nothing.
You could end up with like a Richi Penfu situation. discarding the 8-9 so in the future. I would be really optimistic if I was in Lucas' seat. Especially because you don't need value. You just need to end this dealership.
And end the game. Not that far off. You just step on the gas here.
Oh, good draw from Kenyon. Ishan.
Sean 10.
Chooses
Keeping
not
the one
to
so
take
as
it.
the pair. Yeah, keeping the one as the pair while you have pairs on the other sides.
Boom.
So looks safe to me, but then again, Kenyon might be thinking on a completely different level than me. I've come to accept that.
We do have the tune call from Steve. Also, with Dora 3, and that is a monster hand.
Monster Toy Toy, if that works out. Possibly taking some inspiration from Kenyon just now.
Headless. So Steve could pair up a bunch of different tiles. It could even draw like the 4 so. 4 Tenpai as well.
Here's a 6-pin that go with a few things.
The hand is very wide now.
Yeah. Got nothing but closed weights around the other 3 stellar-looking Onkos. Or triplets.
Chi 6-pin?
Chi.
Alright, gonna abandon Toy Toy. That's fine. We've got plenty of value without it. Now Tenpai on the 3-pin. Which, as we see, is the Onko that Lucas has right now.
Yeah, it is a little bit odd that Steve can see 4 of the 4 pins rather, and none of the 3 pins. Might be wondering where they are, and we can see that Lucas is holding almost all of them.
Let's see.
Oh, and Lucas is committing to incorporating all of them in hand, so this is going to be difficult for Steve, and now Kenyon finds Tenpai. And I think earlier when she cut the 2-4 pin, she was saying, I don't want to take a bad weight Ricci on just the 3 pin if I get Tenpai. This weight is much better, the 147. Although the 1 so is dead.
And 4, not much life in that yet left. We have 1 is the door indicator, another one called in Steve's hand. But there's still one out there.
Yep, 1-4 so, 2-7 so. For Steve,
Yeah.
only 1 3-pin left. And there's the 7.
And picks up the 7. She'll retain dealership with Ricci, Sumo, Dora 1, and picks up an Ura to turn this into a Mongon and the lead.
Oh, look at this hand.
Oh man, and this dominance is not going to stop. 46,500 points, already well in the lead here. Dora is 3-pin, but you already have a Onko of the South and pairs in the Pinzu as well. Great shapes coming together already. And here's another pair! Wow.
Oh, goodness.
Sometimes it just doesn't seem fair, but here we go.
Can anyone fight this? I mean, Kenyon can just call whatever she wants.
I'm looking at these hands, and it's like, while they do have admirable qualities, it's going to be tough to keep up, especially with that call now. Now the game is on.
Yeah, look at this little micro decision that Kenyon makes, dropping the East here. If she draws the door, she can drop the 4 or 5 so and go for Honitsu.
Absolutely.
Chooses not to con, though.
Chooses not to con.
We do have Ishan 10 on the right for Andrew.
Ooh, and now Lucas making some progress as well. Good shapes in Sozu, already finished off, but that'll be Tenpai for Kenyon, waiting on 3 and 6 so.
And not getting too greedy here, not forcing Honitsu when you don't have to.
Lucas picking up the 3 so, hanging on to it wisely. Though he has plenty in that hand that's not working with the rest of it.
Yeah, rough spot for Andrew. I think one of the Mon tiles is correct, though.
Steve trying to make some value out of this. Being back in the pack.
Ooh. That was a really interesting spot for Kenyon. Could have called pulled on the 6, waited Tonki, and swapped around to Honitsu, Toy Toy again. But no, just likes this 3-6 weight.
Very interesting. And as the chat's pointing out, only one tile left in this wall, in this weight, in the wall.
Yeah, but there are some question marks as to whether or not Steve will be able to make use of this 3-so.
That 3-so could come out. So could the 7, for that matter. Ooh, and now picking up that 5-so, that makes this an even more interesting decision. So now you have a shape that just needs 1 to get plugged in. If you get that 6, the 3 comes out.
This will be a telling discard for Steve.
Yeah.
Yeah, not unexpected to see the 9 on there, just playing very cautiously.
Yeah. 15,600, not a terrible score. And we do still have another hand to go after this, of course.
Oh, another door for Lucas.
Okay.
That breathes some
Another.
life into that hand. Willing to push the Nakasuchi 4 mod. And probably going to push the 6 mod if Tempai is reached.
Yeah.
Looks like the pair will either be the 3-so or the 3-pin.
Andrew, meanwhile, that hand's coming along nicely.
Yeah, Ishanten.
The players are taking advantage of Kenyon's hand kind of stalling here as she figures out, well, right now just waiting on 1 tile. I think she's pretty much set in that now.
Yeah, all the tiles have been drawn at this point, so will anyone deal in is the question.
Mm-hmm. And right, if you're in Kenyon's position, you don't see any of these tiles out. So it looks like the best weight, honestly. Maybe now you're starting to scratch your head thinking, somebody's got to be hanging onto these now.
Switch.
This could change things. Do you switch to Shanpon here?
Once cut for both of these tiles, not very good. But you're starting to wonder where the 3-6 is. Oh, Tempai found.
To stay with the open, and there's Ricci for 1 shot. Andrew with Ipe Ko. And then some, waiting on the 2-pin, 5-pin.
Yeah, Steve
It's
would be
Ipe-ko Tanyao.
Ricci pin for Tanyao, Ipe-ko Dora. With Itsubo would be Hanemon.
10 tiles left. That's what you might just get. It'll be Lucas calling 3-pin.
And this is actually Itsu Tempai. It has a Yaku if the 4-so comes out.
Nice.
So that one's relatively safe. And it does get pushed.
Sumo.
There's that Sumo.
That'll be Sumo for Andrew. Picking up Ricci, Sumo, Pinfu. That's right, Pinfu. Forgot about that. Ipe-ko Tanyao Dora. Hanemon to just about double that score. We see another 4th place rising. Oh, that was 3rd place. Never mind. But still, rising up from the back of the pack, and now has a chance to get above 30K.
Yeah, that's a huge win. Kenyon was Tempai for so long. But
Absolutely.
all the tiles getting drawn in the wrong way. And, ooh, now this is a Honroto chance.
Honroto Chitoi, even.
Chitoi could be 9 Santoku Doko.
That's also true. Calling the Chun early. He definitely knows what his objective is, and that's win. And really, the value is just going to come with it no matter what you do at this point.
Yeah, pon roll.
Yeah. 7-mon is the Dora here. If you wanted to switch to Chanta, that would possibly incorporate that, especially picking up this 8-mon. Great progress there.
I'm sure Andrew would prefer to have Toy over the Dora, but you will certainly keep it in your hand. Give yourself that opportunity.
Makes progress for Toy there, picking up the 9-so. Meanwhile, Steve, that's looking pretty good in the Manzu, but not so much anywhere else, unfortunately. But I see an Ipe-ko shape, and that's about it. But he might be thinking about maybe an early fold here when you see these 2 quick calls from Andrew, but we'll see.
Tempai and Ricci taken. Ricci Nomi.
Ricci Nomi for Lucas. Wouldn't quite be enough to grab first for him, but well, maybe if it's
If it's sumo
depending
and
on the
Ura
Ura and
flips.
it's a sumo, yeah. Of course, a direct hit off of Kenyon would also produce favorable results.
Yeah, would still need an Ura flip for that, though. Of course,
Right.
you might as well take your chance. You're here, Tempai. What are you going to do, Dama?
Exactly. Better to have reached and not than to regret not reaching. That sounded better in my head before I said it.
We'll work on
But
that.
you get the picture. You get the picture.
Ooh, that's
Andrew. That could be a good drop for Andrew if Steve drops it, but he'll incorporate that. That works nicely in that hand as well.
Yeah, Steve has a couple paths to value here. The
Gee.
6, 7, 8 Sanchoku chance. There's also Tanyawi Peiko. And Andrew draws it to Tempai.
Now he needs that 7-mon. And other than the one in Steve's hand, well, we have one in Kenyon's hand, but that's it. One more left in the wall, and it is Dora.
Yeah, Chunchanta Dora with all the food in the world for Andrew.
And Kenyon taking another step towards shutting this game down. Looks like going for Toy Toy here, but there goes the 7-mon, and Andrew's going to pick it, and this game continues. Chunchanta Dora won for 8,700 points, putting Lucas down below 30K.
That feels really bad for Lucas. I mean, what were you supposed to do in that situation? And things, you had the better weight as well. But
yeah,
this, unfortunately, not going his way. And for Andrew has been climbing. I should point out, at the beginning of the season, Andrew had one rough series and was down in the demotion zone at around negative 100. And in about 2 series, this week 4 series and the week 3 series before that, jumped all the way from negative 100 up to this current state of positive 35. And it looks like it's going to be even bigger after that. So Andrew on a tear lately.
Hey,
I'm a little bit concerned because I have to play Andrew on Friday.
Wow. Yeah, there you go. As someone who's in last place in B2 myself, that's inspiring. I mean, I already kind of saw stuff turn around for me a little bit in session 4.
Very good.
We'll see. Anyway, here and now, we have Andrew with a pretty nice dealer hand to start with. Might be looking to take that one more little step into first. You could do that with this hand easily.
Oh, yeah.
Or as 1-mon.
Ricci, Pinfu, Tanyao even possible here. Very clear path for Andrew in this hand.
Absolutely.
And for Steve, this is really interesting because he wants to be able to make it into second. But his secondary goal is to make sure that Lucas stays below 30,000 so that you don't lose 5 extra points of Uman. So I think that's why we see Steve speeding up here. 2 calls into it, chooses the 7-pin as the final weight, perhaps.
Mm-hmm. And this hand's not for nothing. This could be Chanta.
Yep, Chunchanta. Not a lot of value, but it's something to take away from this game. And Kenyon, not even willing to let that happen, is Tempai for South only, waiting on 3-6-mon.
Very nice. And not a lot of those out there. Not a lot of orange tiles on your screen.
Yeah,
it's all waiting in the wall.
6 of them left in the wall.
That's right. Much better weight this time.
Another pair for Lucas. I wonder if this turns into 7 pairs. He could get away with dropping... Oh, no, drops a pair.
Going for the more of a Pinfu-like shape. You still have 3 pairs you gotta figure out what to do with.
And because Andrew's shapes were so easily recognizable, has 2 safe tiles to cut here, but it will deal in unless he manages to draw 3-mon, the last 3-mon.
See.
Or
there's
Steve
the
gets there
picked up
first.
from Steve.
This is
He
Tempai.
needs that. Oh, he's going to drop it, though.
Yeah,
and it's going to deal into Kenyon for South Nomi for 1,300 points. You hate to see it, but that'll be the end of this game.
Yeah, not actually the worst result because that does confirm Lucas as being below 30,000.
This is true. It does keep Lucas below 30K. He'll be losing about 7 points there. But the big winner of this game is Kenyon, our league champion from last season. 26.7 points added to the total. Andrew picking up 13.6 of his own. And Zelkin losing 33.5, but again, maybe the outcome he was looking for this time. That'll put him into the negatives, but still pretty far from demotion at 21.3, the total right now. And Lucas sitting just above it, 86.4. We have Kenyon keeping herself in a pretty strong third place position now, 116.0. Am I seeing that right? Did that update as well?
Yes, it did
Okay.
come into play, and it looks
Yes,
like
that's right. She passed you.
that's
Uh-oh.
right. But it's okay. Kenyon's final score actually doesn't matter to me because she's already
Oh,
locked into the championship seat. So even if she finishes first and if I were to finish second, I would still qualify. Same for Anthony
that's true.
and Korak, who might have a much better chance at qualifying currently.
That sounded like you were about to throw down lyrically or something like, "Oh, that score doesn't matter to me."
No, no, no. It practically doesn't matter to me.
Still,
Of course, it's so
I
impressive
mean,
that season after season, Kenyon always manages to maintain a good standing.
right. It would be. I mean, that would definitely be a psychological thing to go into that championship match at the end of the year, being able to see that technically I did win 2 of the 4 seasons this year, at
Absolutely.
least.
Right. And it should be noted that Kenyon played in the league championship last season, and I think she finished second or third. I can't recall. I do know that Huang was the winner that season of the league championship, and she
That's
won
right.
A1 last season. So it's the A1 champion last season. And so, of course, for those who are unaware, at the end of each of the 4 seasons throughout a year, the top player in A1 gets a seat at the end of year championship, and that's of course what we're alluding to here. Currently, Arthur is in the lead, but Anthony is close behind with 2 games yet to play in session 4. I believe those will be happening later tonight, in fact. Games that we might even have the option of watching, but I believe that there is another series that's about to start in B3 that we have some great interest in watching.
Yeah, let's take a look at that.
They have yet to start the match. It actually looks like it will be a bit of a ways off because we're going to have some delay as well.
Gotcha.
But
Well, now is a good time if you'd like to maybe take a stretch, get some water. Sounding just like GDQ at this point. Hey, while we're waiting, let's send it over to Ada for some donations.
perfect, right?
Never mind. Anyway, there's your full A1 score sheet there. Yeah,
It's
definitely a lot of interesting scenarios in this top division here in the ARML.
of course the 2 players really duking it out 1-2. There's a big gap after that. And a really interesting question is going to be what happens to the demotions in this division. We have Luce, Aaron, Zalong, Haru, Joshua currently in that zone, but Luce has been on the climb, used to be much further down, and is actually on the cusp of escaping the demotion zone. And so it would not be surprising to see some very tense battles in not only this session 5, but also the upcoming session 6, particularly because I believe Luce is traveling right now, might be playing from Japan in the upcoming series. So that's always a little bit difficult to schedule games and maybe even play in games when you're playing from another country.
We had some of that fun with when I played against Garth in the playoffs for the Beta League B3/C1.
Yes, that's right.
And yeah,
of course,
it's always a challenge because that's like what 11-hour difference, just about.
Yeah,
Something like that.
and I believe the 2 professional players from Japan are doing quite well.
Yes, they're in promotions right now.
Is
That's why I really want to stay in B2 so I can meet them and have a good rematch.
Absolutely. I mean, is they're in B3 currently, which is the series we're about to start. So perhaps we can change these standings to even look at that list. Who is somebody from that division that we're about to watch? I know Elwin is. So let me pop that up there and get
Let's
these.
see, I've got the cheat sheet. Well, I had the cheat sheet before my computer crashed.
I believe it's
I can get that back up
Elwin
real quick.
and Emily and Takahiro and Blake.
Go.
I'm getting notification that they have started their game, so we are on the 5-minute delay. We are working through that right now. So we're about 4 minutes away
All right.
from that match starting.
Very well.
Yeah, just pulling it up right now. And we can see now Garth at the top of the league. Plus 280. Huge gap between Garth and the second place player.
Mm-hmm.
Not surprising to see a professional player having
then
some
the other
success.
Pro, yeah, the other pro, Jen, just slightly behind. Well, not by points, but in position,
Right.
5th place. And yeah, it is kind of, I mean, yeah, you see them really coming into their form now. Last season, I mean, it was down to maybe a point and a half, but I just barely got the edge on Garth, and now he's just dominating B3 now. So,
yeah, of course,
definitely, I want to stay up in B2 and see him, but what were you about to say?
I was gonna say it there. I'm sure there's a little bit of play differences playing in a professional league in Japan and playing in a division mixed with all sorts of skill levels, and certainly it takes some getting used to. I know when I first played in the beta league, the very first season of the American Region Mahjong League, I had no idea if my opponents were calling because they had a huge hand, or if they're calling because they just like to call tiles.
Mm-hmm.
And it was in my early games, actually, it ended up being because they had both huge hands and because they liked to call. It was a mixture of both. So it was really difficult to get a read on what my opponents were doing. Of course, as you progress through the ranks, the skill level becomes a little bit more easy, more, what is it, standard, more similar to each other, easier to recognize.
Well, I mean,
what's happening
what
at
we
the
had in
table.
the beta league, when we have these beta leagues, which is where we have just a huge influx of new players, so we end up having to create a new division, and therefore you see people coming in from the current newest division, in that case B3, kind of coming in with all this new blood. So just like in that inaugural beta league that you're talking about, you're facing players of many different skill levels and play styles.
Mm-hmm.
So now that things have kind of normalized here in this new, not the new B3 division, but now you have people more or less in the same skill level. And not to mention, now you have a whole season of experience just kind of getting the meta and the rules and how to play around with them here in ARML. So definitely now you're going to see some skilled players like Garth and Jen and the other ones around them, Quincy, Blake, Greg, and Michael, really start to find a way to get that promotion, to get up to the next division and rise pretty well beyond that as well.
Yeah, I'm really excited for this table. We do have Blake, the third place overall in the standings at this table. Takahiro as well, just outside of the promotion zone by 3.3 points. Elwin in 13th place, slightly negative here, but of course, when you are in, I guess this is B3, so let me update that. When you're in the B3 division, you want to be positive because there can be some extra promotion slots depending on how the hiatus situation works out. If players step away for a season or come back from a break, and depending on how that works out, there might end up being promotion slots to anybody who ends up positive overall. So there's a very clear goal for Elwin and even Emily as well, who's currently at negative 70, but can certainly make that up in 8 games.
Absolutely. Yeah, just 8 games to go for most of these players. Actually, yeah, at the start of this session, that should be just about everyone. And now, yeah, let's go ahead. Here comes the game right now. Starting off, there's the gong. That will be Emily as our starting dealer. Dora is East, and she's got one of them right now. Good sets in the 4, 5, and 6, and other good shapes coming together here. The Takahiro is our starting south seat, has a pair of Hatsu right now, and great shapes forming up in the Sozu at the moment, and good stuff in Pinzu as well. That hand is coming together very quickly. That could be the one that takes it. And Noomba, also known as Elwyn, that's our starting West player, has an Anko of the 3 pin right now, pair of Souths as well, and of the 1 pin. Good stuff happening in that hand as well. And Blake, who I just saw in our chat just now, hopefully he's back in the game, but that's our starting North seat and has a couple of pairs all ready to go and a pretty nice hand to start with.
Yeah,
Looks
interesting
conventional.
shapes around the way. I'm really curious. Elwyn across the way has a very unique looking hand. So many pairs. I wonder if they will go for a toy toy, a chi toy, Suanko. All sorts of options for that hand. And the other question I've got is on the right for Penguin Knight, we have Takahiro with the Hatsu that can be called, but this East could drag the hand down. We'll see how long he chooses to hold that.
Boom.
And that'll be Elwyn taking the call, the 1 pin there. Going for a toy shape here, it seems.
Ideally for Elwyn, he would draw the Chun or this Hatsu, one of the dragons, and be able to get a little bit of extra value, being able to call that. I guess my answer about Penguin's hand is answered.
Boom.
East comes out upon reaching Ishan 10, and now we'll discard these 7 so for Tempai. A lot of times you want to keep the 7 so in hand and drop the 8 instead if you have a Pinfu shape. But this is open, this is Hatsu. It's not Pinfu at all, so it's better generally to keep the 6 Anko in case you get the chance to con.
We have Emily chasing with a reach now. 7 so South are the weights here. 7 so dropped pretty recently. That can cause some people to think it's safe.
Oh.
And here it is picked up, and there it goes. Takahiro dealing in here to the dealer for Richinomi. 3,000 points when you throw the stick back in.
Yeah, surprise, the tile that you just passed a moment ago with no hesitation now is the dealing tile.
Exactly. And so this will be a continuance for Emily here. Dora is 2 so now. And good shapes once again in the Sozu. That's really about all I can say. The rest of this hand is going to be a little bit difficult to work with. But we'll see what happens. And I'm assuming Blake is Penguin Knight, right? PN.
Blake is on our left. Yeah, PNW Bati.
Right. Okay.
And Penguin
So
Knight.
I've heard you refer that way.
Penguin Knight is the name of the right. Katakana
Gotcha.
on the right.
Oh, for Takahiro.
Yes.
Gotcha. Penguin.
Also known as DJ
Okay.
DJ Penguin.
I can read katakana. Totally. Anyway, but yeah, that's a good hand for Penguin Knight here. Decent shapes. Again, a little bit to work on here. But now the hand across for Elwyn, that's looking real nice right now. Anko of the 4 Mon, good shapes in Manzu in general. You can turn this into a flush, as it seems like she might be thinking of, but we'll see about that. And we see Blake picking up a con of the 3 pin, not calling it yet. Right? You do want to hang on to that a little bit sometimes, in case you've got shapes that rise up around it.
Chi.
Yeah, in this case, with so many of the 1 pin discarded and a 6 pin in hand, I don't think it's a bad decision to con immediately. And in fact, we will see that. A lot of times you wait for Ishanten to con, but calling from Gyanshanten makes sense because Blake has 2 Dora and Tanyao shapes, wants to have as many shapes as possible to call. And that's exactly what happened here. Now Ishanten.
There we go. New Dora, 1 Mon.
Oh, drawn.
That.
Elwyn.
Oh.
He's got a chance at Honitsu Dora 2 at least. But there's also Itsu possible, and the Shaw as well. This could be very expensive.
He's got a very big hand coming up here.
Emily holding on to 7 pairs, Ishanten. Oh, Tempai.
There you go.
1 mon Shaw wait, or you could choose the 3
Which
mon,
one
but
would
I like
you choose?
this one better.
Oh, okay. Yeah, another con-like shape, but you definitely don't want to call that. 'Cause that's what's keeping you in 10 pi. West and 1 waits here. You said.
Yeah, if you
You
choose
might
the
see that
Boom.
West.
Ooh,
Oh,
move's being taken, that's a Dora Poln.
that's Blake. She's winding up something big here.
Tanya Dora 3.
Yeah.
So it's Mongon versus I'm sure Takahiro is planning to fold this. There's just too many bad tiles in this hand. Oh, but now you've
But
drawn
you
2
keep on picking
Wests.
up Wests.
Kang.
That just
Khan
might make you. Oh, Con!
Khan dodges the deal
Boom.
in. Huge
Oh
play,
my
and there's the 1
gosh!
mon.
But then there's the one. Oh, turns it around for Honitsu Dora 3 for a Mongon.
Wow. Big
Great.
brain play
Big
by
play.
Elwin there.
Wow, that made all the difference there.
That was a defensive con.
Incredible. A very defensive con. Looking great.
So rare to see
Sure.
that. Usually you're conning to give yourself more value, but in that case, it was because 4 and 7 were both dangerous. Well played.
No, very well played indeed.
It would have been hilarious, though, if Elwin had chosen the 3 mon weight, because that was the con draw, would have been Rinchan. Rinchan plus,
yeah.
actually not Itsu, but Rinchan would have been quite amusing, but I think the value would have been the same.
Yeah, we need one more Han to get to Hanuman, I think. Yeah.
Yeah,
Boom.
big win by Elwin there. Puts him in first place. And we move to Taka's dealership. This high pie is quite strong. Already Ishanten with potential Richie Pinfu Ipeiko Tanya. And those are the greediest possible draws. But
Yeah.
Richie Pinfu at
big,
least.
These big wallop hands are not ending yet.
No. Elwin on the right, also with decent
Yeah.
shapes.
Yeah, this could turn into Junchan very quickly, especially, and I think that's the way he's planning on going with that 1 mon call.
G.
Oh yeah, looking at
And
Emily.
there's another call. Now 10 pi, waiting on 8 pin, rather.
That would definitely be a way to shut this down. In fact, no 8 pin being held all in the wall. So Emily looking quite strong here.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that's Emily. Sorry, I got Emily Elwin mixed up there. My apologies. But
it is always difficult when you have two players with very similar names. Even worse when you have 2 players with the same name. I know we've had a couple Michael tables, and that's always a challenge. We have enough Michaels in the league to make just, an all 4 Michael table. It would be impossible to cast.
We have enough mics to staff this broadcast table for sure. Anyway, apologies for that horrible pun. Apologies to all the mics out there, in the league or not. But that will be Ricci now for Elwin, the actual Elwin this time. And let's see, he's waiting on
2 5 mon.
5 and the 2. 2 5 mon. Very nice. Very nice looking.
Only 2 left in the wall. But Elwin did manage to dodge another deal in by being able to incorporate the 8 pin that was drawn. And earlier, Emily had a very interesting choice. She drew the 9 pin, and the question was, do you wait on the 9 pin and the tune? And instead chose the correct one, the one that actually wins, the 8 pin.
It's
well done.
Chantanomi. But yeah, I believe that's Emily saying, if I can't be dealer, then no one can be dealer, and moving us on to East 3.
And that will be Elwin's dealership.
There we go. East 3 and Elwin, yes, in the lead. 37,000 points. Dora is 7 pin for this hand. And great shapes in Sozu. That's just about a Itsu ready to go. All you need is a 3-so. And all you got to do then is just drop a little bit of your extra stuff on the Manzu side there. And you're golden. Looking at Blake's hand now. An Ipeiko shot with that 7-8-9 Pinzu right now. Good shapes around it as well. This could be a competitive hand. Across the way for Emily, we have picking up that 2-pin Ishanten. That's looking really nice. And for Penguin Knight, sadly, this hand may not have what it takes to compete. But
yeah, it feels like it's been a battle between Elwin and Emily in this game. And Takahiro hasn't really had the chance to fight that much. Same for Blake, in fact. Neither of them have been able to get into the action just yet.
See, players navigating around this into what can be another set of pretty big hands.
Really, Elwyn has the best chance. I mean, imagine a dealer Chinitsu. But Emily as well could draw into Sanako. This is an important choice. Does she keep the pairs and try to build vertically into triplets, or does she choose to keep the horizontal shapes, the sequence shapes? And she chooses to drop the 9-mon pair, which indicates she wants sequences here. They do generally tend to be more efficient.
Ray of hope for Penguin Knight here. Takahiro picking up the Hatsus.
Well, they have actually just 2 away from Tempai now. You need to fill the 1-4-mon, and then the 3-so or the 6-9 pin.
This could be the defensive shutdown, but that'll have to go up against this Ricci called by Emily, waiting on the 5-mon 4-pin.
And this is an instance where maybe you, well, I guess not. I was going to say maybe you prefer to have the 9-mon, but the 9-mon actually just got cut, the last one from Takahiro, so 5-mon actually ends up being a little bit better here. And there's 3 tiles left in the wall, which is amazing considering that you can see one of the 4 tiles, which is typical for a Shaba weight. One of those is just sitting at the middle of the table.
Penguin Knight making a call on 6, 7, 8 pin. Now Ishanten.
Elwyn Ishanten as well as dealer.
So who gets it first, and in this case it's Emily with Ricci, Sumo, no Ura, but that'll be 3,700 points. That would kind of be insane if it was 37,000.
It really would, and it's Blake's dealer turn now. I think this hype is pretty promising. It's 2 away from Tempai already, but the problem is you've got this 1-mon, 1-mon, 2-mon, 2-mon shape, and you can build into Peko with a couple 3-mon draws, or you can just drop away from it. I guess I should also say you can draw a triplet of one of the two, but I never personally feel optimistic about those odds.
And an 8-mon just sitting all by itself. That's really the only major outlier in this hand. I guess you have an 8-so doing kind of the same thing. Now Emily with a sequence in her hand right now for Sozu, but that's really about it right now. Have to navigate around a pretty tricky starting hand there. Takahiro across the way with some good shapes in that hand. And on the left for Blake. See, good sequence there in her hand. Got the Dora Southwind, though. So that could turn into something a little bit more.
I know,
South not being Yakuhai, of course.
I know that Blake is well aware of the Sanchoku possibilities in this hand, 7, 8, 9. Holding out for it, perhaps. And if you do start to call for that, you can end up on the Durataki, waiting on the south, as you mentioned. In hand and not been discarded yet. Of course, always a little bit of tricky to use a wind. That is not the round wind.
Yeah. Still Dora, though. It's not shop liver. But that could become a hot potato if you hang on too long, and so Elwyn's gonna drop it. Emily still has one.
Oh no. All these so discards for Blake. Could have had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and an 8. Tragedy.
Hate to see it.
Of course, you don't know you're going to draw these tiles when you discard.
Yeah. Still plenty of options with this hand.
It's been Ishanten for a long time here. It just really needs the 7-mon. And that one's kind of hard to find. Only one left in the wall.
Yeah, edge weights can be rough.
But no one else is really progressing that well either. I mean, Emily is probably the best spot. But even she's having some trouble until I say that and she draws the 6-mon. That really helps a lot here. Now it's a very wide Ishanten for Emily. That really was the best possible draw because it gives her Tanyao a chance as well. Oh, and Tanyao confirmed.
Ooh,
We'll take the
very
Ricci.
nice. Now waiting on the 4-pin, 7-pin. Of course, 2 4-pins make up that hand. And now there's the other one picked up automatically by Elwin. That's going to fit nicely into his hand, though.
That means there's 1 4-pin and 1 7-pin left in the wall for this weight.
12 tiles to go. Tiles in the dead wall now.
Blake might just have to back out of this one. Oh, 3 mon cut. You can still, if you find Tepa, you can push the 8. You could even safely drop this 3 mon and still push the 8 later. Taka actually
There's
found
the 8 drawn from Takahiro up top.
Yeah, it's Ishan 10, but you probably are not going to get another draw, so we'll see. Yeah, South isn't helpful. And Ryukoku.
That'll be it. That'll be Emily taking the 3,000, being the lone tenpai at the table.
Goes
Has moved to South 1.
cleanly into her dealership.
You're in the second half now. Dora is the 3 so now. And take a look at this hand with our dealer. Well, you've got that 7-8-9 set, but not much else. Pair of norths, but moving into south round, not north round. Come on. So
Emily
that might
moving
need
from
some
the
work.
north seat into the east seat, perhaps.
Right. Yeah, that. So it's a little bit too late then, but we'll see. This hand is making nice progress. I mean,
Drawing a north
a
onco.
north onco is not for nothing. It's progress, even if it's not worth any points. Takahiro has a good shape in the Manzu there. Picking up a nice 7 so draw there. This hand has some possibilities. And Elwin has a good, decent shapes here. He's going to drop the white dragon, which will get called by Emily. Now Emily is 2 away from Tenpai.
Yes, actually Ishan 10 here, if she can find a pair.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, that could turn into something real nice here.
Or you could just wait on a pair.
Yeah, there you go. Tanki waits.
Yeah, I like the 2 so here, even though you lose the best connector for the Dora.
You can still get the 4 so and do.
Oh, I like
then you'd
shot
have to
talk.
break
Oh,
up
that's
another
pretty 10. Never mind. I like it if we haven't already discarded it.
Right.
I saw the one on the right. I didn't see the one in our own pond.
Take a look at the hand on the left, though. This might still be a contender for Blake here. Good sequence, 7-8-9. And some pairs around it.
Yeah, one of my first impressions of Blake was that they liked to turn every hand into Chitoy. They had the ability to do so. And I wonder if that will happen in this hand. It could be Chitoy. Chitoy Dora 2.
Almost looks like the easiest path here. But Emily is in Tenpai now. Restructuring this hand a little bit to be waiting on the 9-mon, 6-mon now.
Yeah, we have Tenpai now from Elwin. Choosing not to take the Ricci yet. It's a good weight, though. 3 so, 6 so for Ricci Pinfu Tanyao. I think we might...
And potentially 2 Dora.
Yeah, well, at least
one. Or at least 2. Yeah, at least 1, maybe 2.
Each.
And there's the Ricci.
There we go. For Elwin now. And he is on the 3 and the 6 as well. And there's the 3 picked up. Wait. Was that... Oh, no, you're right.
Yeah, that was a Dama weight from Elwin.
That was the one you were just talking about.
Right, just reach here. Oh, this is trouble. This is Tenpai.
Reach.
What's he going to do? He's going to reach and throw in that 3 so and deal in. That's Ricci Pinfu Tanyao Dora 1 for a Mangan with a lot of sticks in the middle, bringing this up to 10,300 points for Elwin.
Yeah, Taka hasn't really had the chance to fight. This was the first Tenpai that he's gotten all game long. Unfortunately, had to drop the Dora to be able to fight and dealt into Mangan.
Now you've got Elwyn with a commanding lead here in this South 2 now. Dealership moves to Penguin Knight Takahiro with a pretty decent hand.
ポン
Well, you got some shapes, and that's really about it. So that's some tricky stuff to maneuver around here, but it is at least rather accepting of the force. So should you encounter it, and a little bit of a progress draw there. Now
Yeah, this hand's
Elwyn,
really
with
tough to
some-
put together.
right? Elwyn's got a sequence or two, one together, one almost coming together. And Blake with a great presence of the Pinzu right now.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to turn into Honitsu, but unclear exactly what's going to happen. The hand might be Itsu, though.
All right, dropping the one. Possibly, well, you're far away from Tanyo. So I don't think that's the play here. Interesting dropping the one. Maybe it is the play here.
It's definitely hedging Tanyo
Does-
as an out because the hand is very bad. It's
Yeah.
almost
Keeping
impossible
that
to
3 and
see.
the 6 in case something happens with those.
Right.
We see Emily, meanwhile, calling the 7, 8, 9 to go with that Hatsu call from before. And there's some progress. Need the 5 of the 8 mon.
1
Emily now Ishanten will call just about anything for Tenpai. We saw Elwyn on the right opening up, planning to go Tanyo
Yeah.
as well.
Very cool.
Still
Boom.
Ishanten for Blake.
And Elwyn making some progress, calling the 8 so.
Puts that hand
Good play.
Ishanten now. Very wide.
ポン
Ooh, this is a good pickup for Takahiro here.
ドン
But
Still
not
not
going to win
quite the
out.
10 tied, but that'll be the end of that for Emily picking up 1,000 points from Elwyn. And now our dealer takes on. The leader takes on dealer, is what I meant to say. As we move to South 3, the Dora is 2 pin.
Leader Elwyn crashing us. We're going to have to refresh this.
Oh. Just too dominant.
Too
Too
powerful.
dominant. Just shaking the table a little too much here. But here we go. We're back. And, well, as we can see right now, a pretty decent hand for our leader and dealer. Look at this coming together nicely in the Manzu. Even got some dragons coming home to roost. Calling the Hatsu right now. Don't think we're going to see much more dragon action, though. I think you turn this into Honitsu, grab some points, and continue your reign at the top. That's exactly what Elwyn's going to do here, calling the 1 mon. And
Already
Blake,
Ishanten.
yeah, already Ishan 10. Blake's hand looking pretty good, too, if I do say so myself. Good shapes here, and you've got already some pairs working together, and that's a sequence already polished off for the Manzu. Good job there for her. And Emily with some sequences coming together right now. A pair of Norths, also picking up a pair of the 2 pin. And Takahiro with some good sequences of his own there.
Ooh, con. Oh, I like the con there.
Oh,
You know, it's not
Yeah.
always that I like a con, but when you have a 3-sided weight and you're the first
Yeah.
person to Tenpai, I'll take it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, the concern there is not giving other people the chance at more Dora and thus more points, but I mean, you gotta see too that you're a good ways ahead of them right now. So
Yeah.
it's most likely you walking away with those points, and that's exactly what's going to happen here with that deal in from Takahiro for Yakuhai, Hatsu, Honitsu, Rihan, bringing them up to 48,800 points.
Ooh, it started with the Uncle of the South round. Looks like it's going to be another dealer
Ooh.
repeat.
Yeah, putting together a good hot streak here. He's heating up for sure. Good shape in Manzu to go with that South Onko right off the bat. Wonder if we'll see him call Khan here.
Yeah, in this situation, Daiming Khan, when you have the Anko in your hand already, or it's not open, it's in your hand, and the fourth one comes out, I generally don't like calling Khan because you can still stay closed and reachy.
Right.
ポン
Now Emily making some calls on Yakuhai for West and White Dragon. White Dragon is Dora too, so this hand is becoming very expensive very quickly.
Oh, in this round, the
Oh,
Chun
sorry, no, it's not Dora. It is Chun. Sorry.
would have
but
been a
still.
monster for sure. Yeah, two Yakuhai already in Ishanten. However, we have Tenpai, Blake.
From Blake, yes. Waiting on 5-pin only.
Just the 5-pin, but it's a Tenpai, right? Blake and Takahito both. They actually really haven't had the chance to play the game that much. So they'll jump at any Tenpai that they can get. Unfortunately for Taka, when he found Tenpai, he ended up dealing in. Blake manages to avoid that here, presumably.
Oh, we have Takahiro calling Khan. I'm not so sure I like that call because you had a lot of shapes forming around it, but that might be what he needs to shock some points into the system. New Dora 9-pin, and we have Blake expanding the Tenpai now, waiting on 4-pin and 8-pin. Sean pulling weight there.
チ
Of course, one of the 8-pin revealing itself to be the Dora indicator, so that's one less you can win with.
She from Emily puts her on Tenpai, in Tenpai on the 4-mon.
Oh, yeah.
Can swap that out to really any other pair that's not Furi 10. Hatsu would be Furi 10.
Tanki, lots of fun. But there's another 4-mon pickup
Gee.
from Takahiro now. And Elwin wanting in on some of that action. Yeah, now he's got he's 10-pi weight here. Well, wait a minute.
It's a 147, but he discarded the 7 already. It got called by Blake.
Oh, right,
So
right.
even though it doesn't show up in
Furiten.
his discards, he's actually Furiten here.
カン
That's right.
only
You
win
always
by
gotta
sumo.
check. Yeah. Oh, and there's a 4 coming out now. Ooh, this has got to burn. And that'll be Emily going into 10-pi now, waiting on the 6-so or the 9-so.
There's still a couple one-mon left in the wall for sumo here. And 2 1-mon and 1 7-mon, but Elwin decides, you know what? Now the White Dragon is Dora after that third con. You predicted this, I guess. Now I don't want to have anything to do with this hand. I'm out.
I suppose.
Taka has 2.
By the way, we forgot to say this, but wait, when did Emily call the con? Was it recently with the West?
Yeah, with the West. It was just a couple turns ago, and
Yeah.
that's what created the flip.
Yeah. There you go. There's your Dora now. Yeah, exactly.
But Taka might just have to push this.
Taka might, yeah.
It finds Tenpai. Will take a Richi. Will you take 3-6 or you'll take 8-mon
リーチ
4-so? Chooses the one that gives Sananko.
All right, that's quite a hand to deal with.
Yeah, would have won here, but it's understandable to want Sananko here when you're not guaranteed any Uda flips. And 8-mon looks pretty good in the wall. Cannot, of course, see that Elwin is holding onto one of these. Oh no, this is Tenpai. If you push the 4, the 4 looks really
Decisions.
bad.
ドン
But you're going to go for it anyway, and that's going to deal into Takahiro for Richi
Richi Nomi.
Nomi. The lesser of all evils for sure. And maybe Blake was thinking that, if this does deal in, it's probably to the player across, and that doesn't look too bad.
Well, Richi, when there's 3 Dora indicators, is always very scary, but...
We're getting... Actually, we are getting some live commentary from one of the people in this match. Blake is in the chat, and yeah,
Your heart would
saying that
stop when you deal in there.
heart stopped.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, fair enough. That would be pretty scary. He
But
went
you're
back to
relieved when you see it's only 2,000 points, and then you open up this high pie.
right.
Anko of 9 so already. Beautiful shape in the Pinzu, and 2 Dora. What more could you ask
Wow.
for other than another
Yeah.
Dora?
I mean, this is looking nice. Yeah, this is very much a nice warm hug in the form of an opening hand, for sure. But yes, it is South 4. This is all last. So that would be one way to start the climb here.
Yo,
If
Blake
Blake
just
can
says,
pull this out.
This door's pet my pair. I don't need anything else. I don't need 5, 6, 7 Sanchoku. I've got this down. Even this one will come out. These are just perfect shapes for Blake. Everything is already set, so you're really just looking for a safe tile here. The only question that will be posed to you is what happens if you draw another Dora. But that's a good question to have. That means you've drawn another Dora.
And of course, this is 5 minutes in the past. So keep that in mind. She knows how this is going to work out. We don't yet. So we'll see what happens. Let's see the other hands here. Emily with... It looks like a good hand, but then you look closely and...
At least there's
it's
double
just
south
difficult.
in that hand.
There is.
So it can be
There's your
called
saving grace.
for 2,000 points.
Mm-hmm. And Takahiro has one of those souths, also an Anko of the 9-pin, and some really good shapes forming up. Picks up the Dora, but that really doesn't have a spot in this hand. He's going to try to give it a spot, though. At least temporary housing. Let's see.
Nope, there's a spot.
Oh!
Yeah, the problem for
Sometimes...
Taka is that it's Furiten. The 9 mon has already been discarded.
Right.
And even with the Dora, even if you find Ricci and you feel that Furiten shape, it's still just Ricci Dora. Really hoping for more value than that.
Especially when you might have to Furiten this. And let's see, Elwyn's hand. That's coming together quite nicely. 3, 4, 5.
Pon.
Possible Sanshoku chance here.
Yeah, it's a bit of a ways away for that, but it is definitely a possibility. We have Tempai.
I mean, you've got 3, 4, 5 in Pinzu and Sozu. All you need is the 4 in Manzu. You would have to shed some extra stuff, but...
This is Tempai for Takahiro on the 2-5. It doesn't like that weight. This mod weight is 50-10, so probably won't take this one either.
Yeah,
but
you kind of just have to pick that, I think.
Was deciding whether or not to hold this 6 mon in case you draw another Dora. I'm amazed that Blake hasn't found Tempai here. Where are the tiles? There are so many that would give Tempai.
I know.
Oh, there it is.
Well,
I just had to say something.
Oh, nice. Well, I was about to say, I mean, there's been more drops than keeps here in this discard pile, as you can see.
Now we're going to see a chase from Taka.
There you go.
Reach.
5 and 8, and yeah, Taka's running right into the fray here.
Okay, dodges the deal in.
Good. Waiting on the 2 and the 5. Do I have that right?
It's a 4-7 weight. Ooh.
Oh, I see that now. But it's
Emily
8. And Emily will deal into Blake here. Ricci Dora 2 for a good 9,600 points for that dealer. 11,600 when you take the sticks in from the middle.
Yeah, it's almost surprising to see 96, but then you realize there was an Anko of 9 so in hand that gave a lot of foo, 8 foo, and an Anko of 3 pin in hand, which was 4 more. That really increased the value drastically.
See, I thought with Blake in the chat, that meant the match was over and she was just giving us some insight, but no. She's live commentating this thing while in the match, so...
Does not surprise
I don't know if
me.
I'd advise it, but more power to you. This is nice. But yeah, South 4 continues. This looks like a pretty decent hand. You've got good shapes, sequences set to go. And Emily, meanwhile, this also looks nice.
Yes.
A good sequence set in Manzu and Sozu. Got a pair there as well. A couple of pairs, in fact. That's coming together very nicely, especially with that pickup of the 7-pin. Across the way, good shapes here. But sadly, this one's kind of lagging behind the other hands right now, it would seem. And Elwin looking to
Reach.
hang on to this lead. Has a difficult hand, especially with Emily throwing in the stick here.
Yeah, Emily
Waiting on the
drew
5 and the 8 pin.
might be considered the best draw, I guess, with the eight mon filling the Kanchan. However, you had to end up dropping Dora for this Ricci, and um, it's Ricci Pinfu, so it's not going to get you over 30,000 unless you get a miraculous sumo flip to Ura.
Mm-hmm.
So your value suffers a little bit here, but it's very unlikely that you get fourth unless Taka can somehow chase you down. And Taka's really pushing this. I mean, 4-pin is just straight up aggression here.
Absolutely.
I wonder if Blake will be able to fight this hand. This is actually Ishan 10 and can be called into Tenpai.
Yeah.
Oh, Taka with a big draw. 79 Sanchoku, Ishan 10. There's a door. Do you cheat for Tenpai? It's only 2,000 points. But it might be better than not getting anything. No, let's it pass.
Okay. Not a bad move.
Blake bowing out of this one. 2-mon, 2-mon. Just not willing to push the 9-pin or the 1-so here.
Yeah. You're above, you have a strong second place
Right.
here. This is still nice points. This is going to keep you in promotion zone. This might be the time to drop the dealership gracefully here.
Right, and Blake's in very good position overall in the standings, so can play this pretty much however you want.
Of course. Then again, this hand might have other ideas. Picking up that pair. But no, that's going to be further folding, it seems.
Yeah, it's really just a question of can Takahiro put something together here? And where are the 5-8 pins? We can see, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. So 1 left in the wall. Sorry, 3 left in the wall. 1 5, 2 8s.
Yeah. Where's that 5-8 pin? That is the question. 10 tiles to go.
The wall keeps wanting Blake to fight.
Oh man.
Oh, that one's bad.
But yeah.
No.
But there's the 8 pin, and that will deal in Borichi Pinfu with an Ura for Emily to finish this off just below 30k.
It'll be Elwin, the winner. Big winner.
Yes, taking away 33.8 points. That'll be Blake picking up 11 points, Gatino losing 8, almost 9, and Takahiro losing 36.2. So, pretty well played around here. We saw some pretty interesting situations coming together. Definitely confrontational, some shades of that A1 match we were looking at before with, a lot of stuff just happening all at once. Speed going and seeing how players react to it and stuff.
Yeah, I just got confirmation that the big Mongon deal-in from Takahiro was in fact a misclick, so that's unfortunate.
It happens. That's all I can say. I did have to one time play one of these matches from my tablet and wasn't used to the little changes in the interface, and that made me misclick on a chi one time. But
yeah, actually,
you hate to see it. But
I've had the same issues. I cannot have left click discard on, like left click sumogiri on, or I will sumogiri, the most random stuff.
See, I like left click sumogiri, but I could see how that could become a problem.
I really like the
concept.
Myself
sometimes.
I really like the concept, but I cannot in practice do it. I just for whatever reason can't help but randomly click. I guess it's right click sumogiri, but I can't help but right click accidentally, and I've lost so many tempais because of that.
Well, we've got game 2 of this matchup starting in just a couple of minutes. You see the standings now. I believe they have not quite yet been updated on your screen. We did see the full.
There we go.
Oh, there they are. All right, so that will be Blake staying in third, but further cementing her position there. Takahiro and Elwin still hanging out in the middle, but positive.
Yeah,
And
importantly, Elwin moving from the negatives to the
Oh,
positives.
yes.
Very
That
important
is
that Elwin
true.
stays there.
Very nice. Nicely done there. Emily is falling a little bit further back. Not quite into motion yet, and still has quite a ways to go before she gets there. We could see that turn around as we head into this next game here. And while we're waiting on this match to get started, which should be in just seconds away, we would like to remind you that our signups are still available for the summer season. You do have a few more weeks to get that registration in if you'd like to join our summer league. All skill levels are, of course, welcome. You can find more information at our website, AmericanReachy.org, if you'd like to join the fun. I do recommend it. It is fun.
Yeah, registration open till June 19th. You can see that scrolling on the bottom. And I believe the summer season starts in June, 1st of June.
Yes. But you will need to have your registration in before just to make sure.
Yeah, we
Everything's
do
all
want to
set
make
up.
sure that to have you counted in. Administration has to do a lot of hard work to make sure that the divisions are balanced. And big props to Edwin, who runs all of that.
I don't know how he does it, but he finds a way, and gosh darn it, it works. It works well. I'm not saying it's like being held together by duct tape or anything.
No,
it's very well run.
for what
Props
is
to Edwin,
essentially
sure.
a grand experiment. Not many leagues manage to go the long haul. It's just difficult to make it work out. Edwin has found the recipe and is been so much fun being a part of the league, and we hope that you can all join as well.
Yeah. And game 2 is underway. We're starting things off with Takahiro as our opening dealer. The Dora is 7 mon, and we see that in this hand fitting nicely in. Good shapes here all around. Our opening south seat, Emily, has an Anko of the Norths. That's not Yakuhai. But we have our opening west seat, Blake, already calling Ricci, waiting on the 9-pin, 6-pin. And at the early stage of a game where you don't have a lot of information, you see 2 9-pins drop, and those look safe.
Yeah, it's
because you don't really have much other information to go on. In fact, here's a 9-pin here.
There is actually nothing. No. Yeah.
There you go.
What are you gonna do? There is no information, and so fortunately, fortunately, it's just Ricci Dora 2600. Not a big hit. Not much you can do about it if you're an Elwin seat. And
a lead's a lead, though.
Exactly.
Well played, for sure. Moving on to East 2 already. Blink and you miss it, I swear. 5-pin is the door this time, and it's also part of a sequence in Emily's hand. Also, right next to it, an Anko of the 7 Bon, and you've got a sequence of the 4-5-6 Sozu as well.
We might see another early Ricci.
I mean, at this rate, yeah. Nothing but progress draws so far. Let's see what this one is. Ooh, that could be a good pair. Things coming together nicely. We better hit the other hands here. Blake picking up the Easts early on. And a good hand to go along with it. Not quite as put together as Emily's at the moment. But let's see. Elwin with some good pairs here. That's really about it. I see 4 pairs. Possible Chi-Toy chance. Could call this Chi.
Oh, especially with the door, I was going to say being a possible candidate. And then one got drawn.
There you go. I think we see what Elwin's going to do here.
It doesn't have to be Chi-Toy. Well, especially with that draw. Oh, this is a really tough one.
Look at Takahiro's hand. Definite candidate
I love
for
this.
Chanta.
Chanta Sanchoku could even be closed here, but if the 7 still comes out, I think we'll see a Chi.
Emily calling the 4-mon now. And now in Tenpai, Taki waits on the 6-mon.
Can also win on this 5 and the 8.
Oh, that's right. Right, 5, 8, and 6. It's
So
not quite a Taki.
Takahiro is destined to deal in here. It's just a matter of will someone do it before he does?
Hmm.
And if this
Unless
is
he
called, the answer is no.
Long.
Oh, yep, and he calls, and there you go. For Tanyao, Dora won 2,900 points. Dealt from Penguin Knight there.
Emily now taking the slim lead over Blake here. Still needs to, though.
Good hand from Emily here.
Uh-oh.
Oh, a little bit of a...
Oh,
No, disconnect.
just in
but we're
time.
back.
Just in time.
A little bit of a blip. It happens. Tenno's not perfect, but it certainly works way better than some other clients out there.
And this,
But
this is a great job for Emily,
Ricci.
but already Ricci from Blake waiting
from
on
Blake, wow.
2, and this is
Huh.
paired up in hand. Elwin, nice dodge. Again, we've seen a couple good dodges from Elwin, and this is actually Ishanten also. So we might see Elwin chase if a tune comes out.
Very nice. Blake with that interesting shape where it's a con in the middle, but it's actually got a sequence running through it.
The value of the
Looks very
hand's
nice.
not amazing, just Ricci only waiting on this 2-pin, but it's
Probably
so
enough to take the
early.
lead.
Yeah,
Right.
it applies a bunch of pressure, especially since you've done this twice now, right? There was East 1 early Ricci, now East 2-1 early Ricci. I should say East 2
Absolutely.
repeat 1.
Hmm.
Emily's fighting for this one. Ishanten here.
Very nice. Yeah, Emily very close here. I mean, you look at this hand, it's got a good weight ahead of it.
If you want to play super safe, you can go 8 so here and still maintain your Ishanten.
G.
Takahiro making a call of 7, 8, 9.
With 2 door, this makes some sense, especially because we've had a player declare Ricci. They have to drop the door if they draw odd.
Right. Otherwise, there's no Yaku with this hand. Unless you're seeing something I'm not.
Yeah, definitely
Oh,
the plays
Sanshoku.
7, 8, 9.
Sanshoku.
Right.
Duh, of course, of course. That's exactly what he's going for. My bad.
Oh, Tempai.
Oh, there we
Will we
go.
see a
10 pie for
chase?
Emily.
Could wait 6, 9 even. Oh,
Hmm.
waits 5, 8. No Ricci
Why
though,
would-
so
Yeah.
Taka can actually push this, and Elwin doesn't deal in here either.
Right. So there's no... It's Pinfu.
Taka deciding whether to drop 3, 3 here or 5, 6. Goes with the 5.
It does not deal in. Because to get Pinfu, you'd have to have an open weight, and that technically isn't one, if I understand correctly. That's why it doesn't deal in.
Right, you have to have an open or diamond weight. This is a Nobeton. It's essentially a double-sided pair weight.
Right.
Now this switch would give you Pinfu, but your Hootie 10, and the 6 mod has already come out, so you can only sumo this. And we can see that's not going to happen. Somehow Elwin. Oh no! Right after you make the switch, of course
could
it
have been
happens this
sumo.
way. Yeah, exactly.
And then none of that would have mattered what we were describing. So
Oh.
you just have a
Long.
Zenshin. But it'll be the deal in there for Takahiro into Blake for Ricci with 1 Uradora. Ironically being the tile that was dealt in with, which always kind of stings.
Oh my! This is a nice hand for Emily, but we have to switch perspective.
Yeah.
This is also a very nice
Good
hand for Blake.
Emily.
This is more
Yes.
than good. This is
Oh
amazing.
my gosh. I mean, like, yeah, you have. I saw the Yaku locked in. Are you picking up another Yaku with the double East?
This is Hanuman.
And then you look over at the Dora indicator and realize, oh, hang on, there's 5 Han in this hand already.
Yeah. East Roundwind, East Seatwind, Yakuhai Chun, Red Dragon, 3 Dora, Hanuman.
Yeah,
This is insane.
this is. I took the words out of my mouth that I cannot get out of my mouth because holy cow.
Almost no
So,
other hand at the table matters. It's just, can you not
no,
deal
it
in the
really
tiles that
doesn't.
Blake needs?
I mean, Emily might have a shot here because again, that hand is good. I mean, it's got pairs. It's just that there's some not completed shapes that are going to slow this down, and you need every ounce of speed that you can get right now.
I mean, Emily, just like Blake, is Ishantan. She just needs
True.
to pair up one
It's true.
tile, but Blake has
It's not a very wide shot.
Exactly.
That's the problem.
And Blake can draw improvements, and now is Tenpai on the Sanzo course. 3 so.
Well, we're looking at making some progress here, but again, this is going to be tough. And yeah, Blake calling that 7-8-9, or sorry, 6-7-8. Now Tenpai waiting on the 3 so.
We haven't seen they're all on the wall.
Everyone... Yeah.
Oh, Tenpai though for Taka. We'll see a Ricci here, but that means he's going to be vulnerable if the 3 is drawn.
Waiting on the and the 2 so.
North, one's left of the wall, 2 so also one's left of the wall. There's the Sumo.
But there's the big sumo, and now everybody gets to see that pocket Chun Dora for Hanemon. 19,000 points. That's 6,000 all.
Dealer Hanemon, 18,000 is always such a huge win. Oof. And even picking up the Ricci stick as well. Now you just go for Kokushi, right?
I mean,
you might as well.
Not?
You got the flow.
You can't call Kyushu Q high here.
We're counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Drops the Dora. Okay, let's go.
Okay, here we go. Kokushi run inbound.
Shoot, to be
already sitting at 54,500 points.
Now you have Honitsu. No, committed. Let's go for
it.
Yakuman.
Oh my gosh. Here we go.
Oh, this is funny. Now Blake is feeling very good about the way this game is going.
Hey Blake, no spoilers, please. I want to see how this goes. If you're still in the chat.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna see that. I think.
Yeah.
Okay, well we have to look at the other hands then. Elwyn, very strong shapes. Could have a fighting chance here. There's a door. There's could be Ricci Penfu. Could even be a Peiko if you can draw the upper Sozu across the way. Taka also with okay shapes could turn into Tanya, but not very optimistic about the value of that hand. And on the left we have Emily, who's got their shapes. They're not good ones though. Kanchan 2-4 pin. The Kanchan and the Sozu just got an upgrade, so that's a little bit promising. 2 away from Tenpai there. That being said, we keep an eye on the Kokushi attempt.
I think she picked up another wind while we were looking around.
I believe so, yeah.
Otherwise, I don't see that much more progress, unfortunately.
The West pair helps Taka out a little bit. You can call that.
Yeah, it does. Call for Yakuhai and shut down this monstrosity that, I mean, you look at these discards and you think maybe there's a Kokushi happening behind that.
Yeah, if I saw these discards, I would be like 99.9% sure it's Kokushi.
Yeah.
I think there's a little bit of a miss from Elwyn, though, on the 2 so cut, as there's a chance at using the 5 pin as a pair and going for 1, 2, 3 Sanchoku. No guarantees that that actually would have happened, but I always like giving myself the chance for that.
Of course. Oh. Leave yourself an out. There's some progress now.
3 tiles away.
3 tiles away. You've got 7, 8, 8 Pinzu. It's the only ones that are sticking out right now.
I'm missing the West, the 9 mon, and the 9 pin.
I should also point out we're not just on track for Kokushi, we're on track for 13 weights Kokushi right now.
13-sided Kokushi would be incredible.
Yeah. Which I don't think we award an additional Yakuman for that in this league, but that is still very impressive and could be deadly if that happens. Of course, we are about to wind down this wall here, so there's not that many draws left.
Yeah, Blake decides to give it up.
Yep, there you go.
Would be 2 away from Tenpai here, but I think that's an appropriate.
Still a good try.
Play, yeah.
I applaud the decision, and at the end of it, she's still very much in the lead.
Yeah, really, you don't need any more points.
Yeah.
already accomplished your goal. So you,
Oh yes, 9 mon dead, as they're all pointing out in the chat.
excellent.
So, thank you. Yeah, so that's exactly why you drop out. So anyway, the rest of the hands who seem to have played it safe because of that Kogashi run are now just coasting to the draw here.
Yeah, Takahiro was hoping to be able to call for Tenpai. Can't pull here.
Yeah, Takahiro still needs to find some magic in this hand. But
Yeah, I think
may
Taka
not
doesn't
see
want to
it. I
drop
think
this
it's
one
about
pin.
done here.
Because from his perspective, Blake might not be folding. They might just have a lot of overflow and be swapping around their pair a bunch. So, could be
Well,
Tenpai here. Oh wait, the 9-mon was dead.
9mon is dead.
Yeah.
He can see that, so... Yeah. So no one Tenpai. That's really, though, the best situation you could ask for as a dealer with a lead like this. Just drop it without having to pay any sort of penalty. As we move into East 4. Dora is 8-pin now, and we're seeing a much more conventional hand here from Elwyn. This could... It's got some work that needs to be done, but it could easily cross the finish line as a hand for our dealer here. Looking at Takahiro, you've got good shapes on Anko of the 9mon right now. Good pairs also in this hand. That could turn to a lot of good things.
Boom.
And Emily with some good shapes of her own. And Blake calling the Haku early. This could turn into Honitsu here. Good shapes in Pinzu, and some sacrificable shapes in the other suits. Oh, never mind. Calling that 1-2-3 Pinzu for a quick just push into the second half and let's go type play going on here.
Yeah, I mean, with that type of lead,
Oh, and
makes
Chanta.
perfect sense. Yeah,
And
Chanta is possible.
Mm-hmm.
It is quite
Quick
likely that you
Chanta.
draw around this Forso floater and don't get the Chanta, but
Mm-hmm.
you'd love to... Oh, okay, never mind. Just forcing
He's
it.
going to just get it out right now.
Chi.
And Ellen will respond with a chi. Chance at 3-4-5 Sanchoku here.
Oh, but then Blake picks up the 9, so moves into Tenpai now, waiting on that Chun. Good decision to hang on to that, especially because there was one drop not that long ago.
Yeah, once cut honor is such a sneaky weight, wins so frequently.
Especially freshly cut honors. That comes right out. Meanwhile, our dealer, looking to counteract this sudden progression from Blake's side. Ooh, I was wondering if Blake might drop Chun there and then be waiting on 1-so, 4-so, but...
Yeah, we wouldn't do that for a couple reasons, but first and foremost, probably because of Bifuri 10.
Wait.
Because the Forso was dropped and Cheed, again, that sneaky...
Right,
it's not in your pond anymore, but for newer players, the Forso that we can see in the current dealer's to the right of the call they made, it's pointing to the left, indicating it came from the player on the left. So that's the way you can tell that Forso was discarded.
I knew that. I was just setting up a teachable moment for our newer watchers.
Oh, and this might be a teachable moment for us. Do we take a Ricci here? No, Dama. Taka wants more. Yes. Taka wants Suanko.
Oh, man. Wow, I wasn't even looking at that. Wow. Okay.
It was back-to-back Anko draws from Taka.
Yeah.
Oh, no, the 5 might come out. Do you pass Ron?
Because now that's one less Anko you can really make
with. Suanko
he decides not to. Oh, we've got it. There we go. Tenpai for Suanko. That might just pay off for him.
One of each child left on the wall. This is possible. Chi?
We have Elwyn calling into Tenpai now. Well, not quite Tenpai. Now we're going to call Ricci.
Attempting to scare this hand away.
Takahiro.
Taka doesn't really want to win by Ron. Wants the Tsumo here, but is trying to scare these players off of their hands.
Yeah, because he still sees, okay, they're still going after it. Khan and the Rinchan is not the one to complete.
He flipped himself 3 Dora. Now he will take the Ron. Oh my gosh!
I mean, yeah, call Roan because you're still getting tons of...
It's Hanemon. Oh, there's the 5!
There's a 5!
Blake switches, though. Good switch. Oh, only 1 6-mon left of the wall.
Oh my gosh. What a godlike read there. I mean, you know that Chun is safe. you don't know what's happening with that con just now, so you play it safe. Wow. Okay, so no more fives, but there's 1-6 left. 1-6 mon left.
Taka's got 2 draws for it. Elwin's out. Elwin's bailing.
Oh, 3 mon. For a second, that looked like it.
One more draw. Misses.
Oh, not quite.
We're going to Ryukyoku.
Wow.
And the table will see what was an incredible hand, Sulanko Tenpai, but the final weight was dodged. Blake, the last person to draw the tile, had a good hand and did not throw it out.
An impressive read from Blake for sure on that one.
Yeah, a more aggressive player. Actually, Blake is a very aggressive player.
Yes. And we again, not dealing into a Yakuman there, but dealing into something pretty vicious on its own right.
Yeah, that would have been Ricci, Toy Toy, Sananko, Dora 3 minimum for Baimon.
Baimon, would be crazy. We'd still be screaming if that happened.
Absolutely. And there'd be Uda flips as well.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, man. I mean, we don't do Kazuya here, that's right. But
I believe we do have actually Kazuya.
We do?
Yes.
We do? Oh, okay.
Some players or some leaks do not, but I'm pretty confident that we do, in fact, have Kazuya Yakuman. But still, it's Takahiro, after picking up the Ryukoku payments, has a decent hand as dealer. Ishanten already, in fact.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, get that 8-pin. Get something around that Pinzu shape you've got going there. Lots of different options you can go for on that. I'm seeing good hands all around, pretty much. Great Sozu shapes in Blake's hand. That's turning into not quite a straight, but it could be many different shapes working together. And Emily with some good shapes of her own. Same story with Elwin. A lot of pairs that are all kind of close together.
For Elwin, South is the round win, so could open up the hand, and I think it wouldn't be surprising to see Elwin do so. The one downside to that is you lose the Ipeko chance, right?
Right, I was going to say.
And of course, Taka, after calling the Green Dragon, is Tenpai and
I was about to say, we might want to watch if Blake drops that 8-pin, and that's exactly what she does. And that'll put Takahiro in third with 21,100.
Huge hand. This is Taka's best chance all series long.
Wow. Calling that South, get this one in, because it's gonna... Wow, so that's 2 Dora with South. Drawing nothing but progress. Nice.
Yeah, and if you can find the third, that's 12,000 points. Elwin has a Dora 5-pin floating in hand. I think we're going to go Yamen weight here. But if the 5-pin comes out, Taka might call Pon for the 12,000 point try. It's always a little bit difficult because if you win the hand in its current state, it's 5,800 points. That's not bad, but it's not 12,000.
But he is Tenpai. We should point that out.
It feels like Elwin's going to drop one of these tiles at any second. But so far, just doing a good job of playing efficiently. But the closer and closer the hand gets to Tenpai, the more and more likely it is that the 5 comes out.
Yeah. And that's Blake calling the Wests now for this hand. Might be looking at Honitsu here or just riding the Wests to the finish line.
Oh, this is the only way that Elwin doesn't deal in, and that's drawing the 8-mon.
Yeah.
Saved once again, but Elwin might have to drop the Dora soon. We'll have to see. If he draws around the Dora, he might cut the 8-mon pair, but instead choosing to drop the 6. So those look like the Dora will come out, and Blake might be able to steal this away. Multiple calls. Kutsuki Shanten. Now Elwin's drawn a Dora connector, so we might see the 6-7 come out. No.
It just gets more and more intriguing. Puts it back.
Yeah, I have no idea where this hand's going to go. We have Ishanten on the right for Emily. Tenpai for Elwin.
Wow. Good call there. And there goes the stick. Waiting on the 5-so, 8-so.
If the Ricci wasn't declared, I wonder if Taka would have called it. As because of the Ricci call, I think you would just want to maximize your potential weights, and so that's why we're taking the diamond here. Blake Tempai now. Taka, of course, has to push everything. 4 tiles left to the wall,
Sumo.
but there's the sumo.
That'll be Elwin taking home the points here for Ricci, Sumo, Haku for 6,200 points once all the sticks get factored in.
They probably do not yet realize how close they were to dealing into 5,800.
Right.
6,100 including Homeba, and instead they end up
Mhm.
stealing the sand away.
But then you get to our new dealer here in South 2, and look at this.
Oh my.
Especially that pickup of the 7. Wow. And you've got Dora. It's White Dragon.
Yeah, we could see a Ricci on the Dora Tonki, maybe. That would be fun.
Very nice.
The hand to the right has a lot of pairs, 4 of them.
And
I
also the Dora.
I consider the Dora to be like essentially a pair. You never want to drop it. It's like half of a pair. I mean, it is half of a pair, I guess, but
Yeah. Now you pick up this 5 mon and you have a lot of options.
I consider it like 3/4 of a pair.
Hmm.
Oh, instead it's Emily who
Ooh,
pairs up the
Bella.
Haku. This is huge. Is it Emily's turn for dealer Mangan? Oh, wow, the
Oh,
greed.
it's gonna. Yeah, it takes a hard turn into Honitsu territory. We'll see if this pays off. It's all at the mercy of the wall at this point, and possibly the drops of your other players.
Yeah, we haven't really looked at Elwin's hand yet, but that's Ishan 10, so you really hope the wall gives you pin tiles and soon. Well, there's probably the best pin tile that she could have drawn. This hand's now Ishan 10.
Absolutely. Got to get rid of this 9 so, and you're home free. Just about.
Takahito's been holding this 1-4, not allowing Emily to be able to call it, but Emily finds Tempai. It's a great... okay, not as great of a weight as I thought.
Well,
just the 5.
It's closed, but
Yeah, I like this Dama. It's Honitsu Dora 2 for 12,000 points, but there's so many draws that give you a weight upgrade.
And yeah, if she does upgrade that weight, that's when you throw in the stick. Especially here's the 5 pin right now for this pairs hand, and it's going to come right out and deal in. Honitsu
Surprise.
Dora 2, 12,000 points. Definitely great decision on keeping that Dama and not calling Ricci.
You're not expecting it to be Tempai because there were early honor cuts, and your last cut was what, a 9 so? That was the last cut into Tempai? It's really a shock, I'm sure, to everyone at the table that was Tempai.
Absolutely. And that'll be the lead now for Emily with another good hand. Well, it looks good when you see one half, and the other half looks kind of iffy, but you have Dora Acceptance. Something could happen.
Even the iffy side, the Bonzu, 1, 4, 7. But 4 and 7 are very good floaters. If you draw 3, 5, 6, 8, any of those tiles would be great for you, and that's half of the suit. So having good floaters is almost as important as having good shapes, especially in the early stages of the hand. Blake on the right could come back with this hand. Could be 7, 8, 9 Sanchoku. Could just be
She's
Dora
not
pair.
that far behind. I mean, that's one Han direct hit, and you're back in the business. I mean, one Han Sumo for that matter, and you're back in business. But yeah, also across the way, good shapes in Manzu. Really in other shapes as well. This is coming together quite nicely. And Takahito, that Anko of 1 pin and good pairs to go along with it.
This is Ishan 10
No.
for Ricci Dora 3.
Yeah.
Playing-
Turn to something pretty big.
Like max efficiency here, it is the final weight's not likely to be very good here. But you'll take anything with Dora 3. And now Blake's faced with some tough decisions. Still
I'm
holding on
picking
to
up
the
another
Dora.
Anko here.
Yeah, Emily,
Hmm.
very intriguing shapes. I'd like to get rid of the pench on here if we can.
Hmm. I'd say I'd drop the 9 pin at this point
Yeah, I like that too.
to
Or
go
even
to
the 8 pin
Tanya.
first.
I mean, you've got to have given up hope for the.
Well,
Yeah,
hold on to that 8
turn that
pin.
8 pin into your pair.
Yeah, that works great. Yeah, maybe for
Yeah.
Tanya, you go with the 9 first.
And now you're Ishan 10. You just got to finish off this 3, 4, or 5, 6.
We'll see how committed Elwin is to the 789 Santraku here. Not committed. Yeah, that's just an efficient route. Not necessarily greeting maximum value. Taka's been stuck Ishanten for so long, hoping for
Yeah.
4-7 pin to come into hand.
It's the worst feeling in the world. You've got this great hand. It's just that last little bit just eludes you. Same story for Emily here, really. This also had some pretty lofty ambitions, but they're just starting to fall flat as we head into the final 10 tiles.
Emily hasn't even been able to call for Tempai because Taka hasn't drawn anything useful either.
Yeah. Bad luck leads to bad luck.
Oh, there's Tempai.
Oh, there's something. Here's Tenbai, just in time.
Chooses the Dama here with only 4 tiles remaining.
Good move. As
Oh,
it is,
Tenpai
you
for
want to just
Taka.
keep your dealership. Oh, man.
He can't
See,
reach
and
you. There
good
aren't
luck
enough
leads to
tiles.
good luck. Yeah, that's true.
Now Blake needs to find the safest tile and drop that because this is not Tempai. Good job.
There we go. Only trading 1,500 points, but it could have been a whole lot more at this table. South 2 continues. That 1,500 points is going to be enough for Emily to take back the lead. In fact, am I seeing that right? Did she always have the lead? Did I just do that wrong?
After the deal-in from Blake.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah, so it just stretched it a little bit further, but it's still quite close here. This seems like
But
a
look at
pretty
this
clear
hand.
Chi Toy hand.
Yes. Especially if you can pick up another West, which is the Dora.
Mm-hmm.
We see one in Blake's hand right now. Wouldn't that be something to turn the tables? Be reaching, waiting on that West. When people are still getting rid of their honors, not really thinking about that yet. Especially with Emily not being the West seat.
Right. Oh, no, out it goes.
Oh, but there it goes. Never mind.
Yeah, I think if you do Ricci, players will probably hold the West. But if you Dama,
Yeah, possibly.
it will come out for 64. Or I guess
Oh,
that'd
yeah,
be
yeah.
dealer 96.
Well, here we go. We'll see what happens now. Gonna Dama, waiting on the 5 so for this Chi Toy hand.
Wouldn't you like to be waiting on the West?
I know, right? Just waited just a couple of turns longer, but
there's no guarantee the 7-mon would have been
Well,
held.
right.
Maybe that would have been
Of
the
course.
cut. So
of course.
it's always such an interesting decision process when you have these Chi Toy like hands.
Mm-hmm. All we can do is play armchair. What would you call it? Armchair Ricci player, because you normally play this game in armchairs, so
That's a good
I don't think
point.
that really works. But anyway, we're seeing the 5 so get drawn into hands now. Blake and Elwin have one apiece, and they do fit nicely, so
Oh.
I don't think we see those coming. Well, maybe we see it come out of Blake's hand. I'm not sure.
リーチ
Okay, this is
Now we're going to call Ricci and put that 5 back, and now we're waiting on the South.
yeah. I wonder if
Which
Emily,
is one left.
Yeah, I wonder if Emily noticed that the South was the Dora indicator, and that means there
Or
only
maybe
one
that's
left.
exactly what she's counting on.
Mm-hmm. It is
thing.
very sneaky. There's only one left, so
Yeah.
if someone draws it, it will come out.
Mm-hmm.
But there's only one left, so someone has to draw it. And now you're fighting against a Ricci from Elwin. It will be Ricci pin from
Sumo.
Ipot's Sumo. Okay.
Okay, that came out of nowhere. Ricci pops a Sumo Pinfu with an Ura for Mongon, and that's going to send Elwin just about back up into the lead. Very close. we have a very close match here with just 2 hands to go. South 3. Well, 2 rounds to go, but geez, this is a very close game. Do not close this tab. We're not done yet.
Yeah, I am curious if this is going to turn into Cheetoy. Blake does like to do
Yes.
that.
I mean, this is a very much welcome mat for Cheetoy.
Yeah, the shapes are very good though. A couple Diabin shapes. It's just that you have so many pairs that Cheetoy might end up being the final play here. Well, now you have 5 pairs, so I think the plan is
There you go.
is pretty set.
Looking at Elwyn's hand, there's some good pairs there, but I think you see more conventional shapes forming up. That might be where this hand goes.
Yeah,
Takahiro
although
with...
there's another pair, 4 now.
Okay. Go ahead. Prove me wrong, Wall. Good shapes for Takahiro here, as I was saying. Couple of 3 pairs in that as well, so I've never seen a Cheetoy race before, but who knows? I mean, a 4-way Cheetoy race.
Sometimes it happens that way, you know. People start collecting pairs, and then the only times that become useful to you are just more pairs, because everyone's clogging up the normal shapes. Fabled Koitsuba. Emily on the left has probably the most standard hand, but is missing some key components here. And yeah, now the door comes out.
Yeah, just make something out of that.
Okay, Taka's decided. This is not Cheetoy, it's Honitsu.
Quite the transformation.
But the draws are coming in.
Very nice transformation. Very nice.
Boom.
Elwyn decides it's not Cheetoy either. It will be Chun only.
Okay.
Maybe Chundora 1. Good
What
draw
about
for
our
Emily.
Dealer Cheetoy situation. Still sitting on 5 pairs. Yep, no progress, as you can see from the discards here. Sumogiri City.
This is really problematic for Blake. Will likely end up on this East Weight, but they're all being held by Emily.
Chi.
Oh, no. There's another call from Elwyn.
And notice how Elwyn cut the 6-mon there instead of the 6-so. The 6-so is not doing anything for that hand, but he's trying to prevent Takahiro from calling it. And now it comes out. Can it be called? Technically, but I don't think it helps the hand that much.
You'd break up that perfectly fine Ipeko.
Chi.
Nope, does call it.
Richi.
Still worth a lot of value.
Ooh, Emily just got the best draw.
Oh, man.
4-7 pin weight.
Okay. And that would be Ricci.
Ricci only.
But still.
Now, with his call, Taka can call a lot of tiles into Senpai. Just decides to fold on the 5-mon, though. You know, just when the Haku comes out as well.
Here.
5-mon now revealed to be Nakasuji. Taka might push it, and out it goes. Well, it's Chinitsu now if Taka can get there. There's only 5 draws left in the wall. Oh, there's a Dora! It's safe against the Ricci, so we'll see a Chi.
There we go. That's the one thing. Now this is... Well, it's not even...
6-9, but that allows a Sumo!
Oh! Ricci Sumo. No Ura, but shutting down some rather big hands around the table.
A bit of hope for Taka turns into the win for Emily. And moves us into all last.
All last, and with Emily now taking a little bit of a lead from the pack here, but still could easily get caught up with here from either Blake or from Elwyn. Technically Takahiro too, if this turns into just a ridiculous, like, Baimon or Sanbaimon of some sort.
Yeah, it would need to be something ridiculous.
I don't really see that from here, though, unfortunately.
Yeah, that hand is pretty garbage. So
Yeah, not what you want to see. Maybe just play it safe, and if the dealer wins, the game does continue with
right.
this rule set. Speaking of the dealer, a lot of wins. Um, South and North, just putting down the West. Um, but good shapes around that as well. Picking up a pair of the 4-pin. Turn to some things. Oh, but now?
Well, now you
Hang
have
on
some
a minute.
dragons. So you have
Yeah,
to think,
at Takehiro's hand?
do I continue with the Kokushi plan or is Daisang a possibility?
Oh, that's right. That does look like a Kokushi opener,
Gee.
but I mean, Dai Sangen looks like the more attainable thing at this point. Oh, no, putting back the green. This might be a shift in the Kokushi.
Yeah, it definitely feels like a Kokushu play.
I mean, when you're up against the wall like this, unfortunately, the wall is not cooperating with you. But
Boom.
who knows?
Yeah, it looks like Emily's going Altozuke waiting for the tune. Does not know that Taka is holding the other
Richi.
pair of tunes, and we'll see
Mm-hmm.
Blake with the early Ricci.
Blake.
And this also might have been a consideration from Taka, just saying, I know I'm not winning this hand. I can recognize that the other players are much faster than me. So let me just hold a bunch of these safe tiles.
That could be it too. Yeah, just play it safe. Just don't drop that 7 so. And that would almost look safe to me because, again, not a lot of information. And it was just dropped when the Ricci was called.
Oh, well, now it actually looks safe because the 4 passed. How
Okay.
Elwin recognized that the 7 was dangerous and not the 4 is beyond me, but that is quite a move.
Sometimes Elwin sees, sometimes players just see something different when you're.
You know what? I think Elwin might have seen the possibility of 6, 7, 8 Sanchoku.
Dum.
Oh, but now they're going to put the 7 in instead when he picked the 4. Oh, and now it's Ricci, Dora. Going to deal into Blake here.
Yeah, I think
to end the match.
because he created the Suji himself, he said, well, if the 4 passed, I guess the 7 probably passes. Drew the 4 back, said, all right, I'll play efficiently, and unfortunately that does deal in, so...
That was the undoing, unfortunately.
However, Elwin does manage to stay over 30,000 with that deal in, plus 0.1.
Yeah.
Blake picks up positive 10.1 for the second place finish, and Emily this time the first place, positive 22.3. Taka taking the 4th in this game.
Being the lone player below 30K means you lose a little bit more points.
Yeah, 5 extra thousand essentially.
Yeah, 5 extra. Yeah. So let's see. Once those scores update, there they go. We see Elwin passing Takahiro in the standings, but not by much, and Takahiro's still pretty comfortably in the middle of this leaderboard right now.
Yeah, Taka's not in danger of demoting, but really wants to stay positive and have a chance at promotion.
And Emily staying pretty far from demotion herself. And Blake, despite not maybe getting the results she wanted tonight, still sitting nicely in 3rd place with 193 points even.
Yeah, I think these results are pretty good for Blake. You are, again, comfortably in the promotion zone. You've gotten 2 games out of the way. I think it was, 2 second places?
2 second places for who, you said?
For Blake?
I believe so.
Well, regardless, definitely staying afloat at the top of the standings, and so certainly exactly where you want to be.
Right. Maybe you make a run for Quincy, maybe you make a run for Garth later on, but that's... You don't need to, and though she is now less than 100 points from Garth...
Yeah, it'd be nice to be able to say I finished at the top of the division.
Yeah, always nice. Really prove that you belong in B2. But yeah, good play tonight overall. A lot of neat games, a lot of interesting plays for sure.
Some very interesting scenarios. We had a Yakuman chance.
Multiple Yakuman chances. Well, in that past game, yeah, they had the one, but yeah.
Overall, the evening, very, very good for our regular Wednesday broadcast, and I'm glad that you were able to hop in on the commentary team, Blaine. It's always a pleasure doing commentary with you.
Of course, always a pleasure doing commentary with you as well, and definitely thank you for pulling double duty there, also keeping this stream running smoothly. Talk about everything Edwin's doing. You're doing it all live right here for us, so
Well,
claps.
really,
Claps for
it's
you.
just an excuse for me to watch all these games and all these players. It's so fun to see everything that's happening in the
Absolutely.
league. Of course, I'm heavily invested in what happens in A1, but I really do enjoy watching every single division here. It's a lot of fun to see the progress of
Well,
all the players.
if we're going live tomorrow night, I will be playing in B2.
Oh, really?
So, yeah,
I see that's
we'll
the
see how that goes.
late evening matchup.
Got to fight my way out the bottom.
And who knows, we might be able to get a broadcast in. It looks like there's a very interesting lineup of games, so I would like to cover that if at all possible. I cannot guarantee anything, but if you
If
would like
not,
to be notified about the possibility of us going live, you can, of course, follow us on Twitch. When we do go live, you will be aware of it for sure. And you can
click the
also,
heart.
yeah, exactly. Follow us on Twitter as well. Oftentimes we make a tweet about whenever we are scheduling a broadcast. And of course, as Blaine mentioned earlier in the broadcast, if you'd like to participate in the summer session of this year's rendition of the American Ricci Mahjong League, you can certainly register for that on our website, americanricci.org. Sign-ups must be in by June 19th, so you have a little over 2 weeks to get your application in. Don't worry, you will be accepted, regardless of skill level. We have players who've been playing for 7 years and players who've been playing for 7 weeks. And everyone's having a good time here, I think.
Yep, and everyone in between.
Tiny
I'm
URL.
coming up on my.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm coming up on my 3rd year playing this game.
Goodness, how long has it been for me? Probably up to 5 now.
Wow.
And they're members of this league who've been playing for much, much, much longer.
Absolutely.
But of course, if you'd like to see any of our previous broadcasts, you could certainly do so on our YouTube channel. And the fast link for that is tinyurl.com/ARMLYT.
Absolute.
All right, any final thoughts, Blaine, to close this out?
I don't know. I feel like we said everything that needed to be said. It was a great night. I'm glad everybody could come out, and especially on GDQ week. I know that tends to suck a lot of the oxygen out on Twitch, but glad you'll come here and watch some top quality mahjong for sure.
Absolutely, it was a lot of fun. Again, with you, Blaine, a lot of fun with everybody in the chat, commenting along.
Oh yeah, chat was fun, especially the players commenting while they're playing.
Well, if there's one person to do it, I imagine Blake would be the one. But yeah,
Blake part of our broadcast team too, I believe. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And well, with that being said, we do hope to see you maybe even as soon as tomorrow evening for the next broadcast of the American Ricci Mahjong League. Have a good night, everybody.
See y'all later.